Just going live today. I wanted to do a quick video before the holidays. Lots of people are probably taking time off this week to spend it with family, so good for you. Always, always, always call in family, even the celestials. They want to be with you. They're always with you if you call them in or not. That's how they operate. We're always going to be with you, whether you like it or not. So just a couple of really quick messages for those that are on the path of awakening, choose to be Ascension, choose to do their shadow work and do their healing. So very proud of you. Super courageous move. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep following your highest intent. What's really important right now for all movement forward is, again, that heart center alignment. Even as things get tumultuous, just remember the infinity. There's always the wounded, negative ego shadow side, which has to be looked at. Just call it into the center, put it on the table and sort it out. It all has to be sorted out. And then give yourself the opportunity to align and reset. I'm constantly resetting with spirit every day because there's still a lot of things that come out from my personal life that was never told to me, that just lies and betrayals, just because of the agendas that people were working within, and that's okay. My higher truth is always the heavens, so I know who I am as a cosmic celestial being. I know who I am as a healer and a teacher and a Christed leader. So that's really all that I need. So I also wanted to do this little message. My hair has been really growing and some beautiful things. I've been working a lot with my my healing, my youth healing, so I'm really happy about that. At nighttime when I do my healing. So yeah. So we're just going to do a couple of really quick messages, really casual. I didn't have oracles, so I'm going to try something with the celestials. I'm going to have them give me images of any of the oracles that I've worked with for many years. See if there's a message for the collective. There is going to be a lot of shifts coming up because the galactic bodies, celestial bodies, they're working in new alignments celestially and cosmically and galactically. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be working with a whole bunch of new people at different levels because I can see things at the collective and celestial level at a higher perspective, the top-down effect. And because I am a master of healing and the psyche experiences and what a soul goes through as its minutiae through all time and energy and densities. So I'm really going to be really excited about working with the various beings and the bodies within the galactic federations and the councils. So I'm really happy about that. So I've just got a couple of really quick channeled messages. And then we're just going to take any messages from the collective that's asking questions. So just so that you know, because I'm a conduit, and anybody that tunes into my channel, they know that I'm a psychic healer. If you just sit with your heart space open, anything you're wanting to know answers to, I just tap into. And it's just a matter of what spirit brings to me, as in the highest and the best. Most often than not, if they're truly about spiritual healing and healing your soul and your soul's evolution, those will usually be the mess that I'll get first. If it's usually about ego, those are usually the last. So it's always served in the highest and the best for the soul's healing. It's usually what I respond to first. So just you being, will allow me to tap into that energy. And I always bring forward what is, the spirit guides will always allow me to see what is needed most necessary for active healing. So if you're going through it, somebody else is. So that's why I bring certain things up too. And so there's been a lot of people from the past that have sent me psychic of forgiveness. They're wanting my consultation in forgiveness with them. Just know that we don't have to meet for your forgiveness to be given. I forgave you all a long time ago. Most frustrating and agitating was that the abuses continued and the sex magic continued, and all of the continually obsessing about my energy and my field and trying to get out of the deeds and no accountability. Even though that I do have equal rights as everyone else, but that my rights were being absolutely and utterly ignored. While the corrupt people were able to scheme and plot and plan on various ways of my death and my being taken out. So everybody is forgiven from the past. Doesn't matter what part of the equation that you're on. There was well over 50 people that were involved in sabotaging my life right from birth. So, any of the curses and the hexes and the plans to keep me in zero knowledge about who I am, like they could ever do that. Nobody can keep me from who I am. Nobody can keep me from my divine path with Mother Father. My destiny is my destiny, and I will always be on my destined path. I will always be fated in whatever I choose to create with Mother Father, because I choose to create with the heavens, not matrix people and not 3D matrix handlers and pimps and things like that. So there's no judgment on any of that. You are all my brothers and sisters. Everybody is forgiven. I do not need to speak with you in person for the forgiveness to be taken place. I've received your psychic message of requesting forgiveness from me. You all have forgiveness from me. You all did have forgiveness from me. You all know what was stolen, taken, raped, and withheld and sabotaged. Information withheld, files withheld, monies withheld, mail withheld, my property. None had any right to speak on my name. They didn't know me. I've been estranged for 8 years, no contact. Nobody knows me from the past. They cannot speak on my anyway. I don't even take aspirin. I don't take drugs. I don't do drugs. I never have done drugs. The stories and the lies and the defamation is all false. There probably will be defamation claims, lawsuits, and there will be absolutely discrimination lawsuits, because Mother, Father understand how important it is for the balance of humanity, for the balance of humanity to be brought. And there's been eons of subjugation for divine feminine and the children. So what I went through is very important for the reestablishing of balance on the planet, and to understand dark occult abuses, to understand systematic abuse, to understand mind scraping, the many ways that abuse is done, human testing, the many ways that we have been tested on, that different agendas and different elite bodies had no rights to do any testing or of any kind, and it's still going on in our world. The harvesting is rampant in our world. There's secret societies in every city. Corruption in every city. And it's just purely because of the disconnection of spirit. And everything I teach, absolutely the healing answer. And so YouTube, as Spirit did show me, that YouTube has been being paid by certain elites to silence my platform. Every time I do a video, I show blatant proof of the pilfering of my videos. I show the blatant proof of my numbers being messed with. I show blatant proof that there's been no growth for 8 years. And so, and that's when I began my YouTube Ascension. And so there are investigations that have been going on, and Spirit said there is enough evidence to prosecute everyone in the highest degree of all sentencing. Spiritual courts have already been closed. God and my life path, if you will, has won, obviously, because there were many abuses of so many discriminations and human rights issues. So once the spiritual courts have been ordered the investigations of all of the discrimination crimes against those that are here to uplift humanity, and we're here to offer higher vibrational healings and teachings and light wisdoms for the evolution of humanity and for all of our universe, which I'll go into that in my channel. We've been brought here as higher vibrational beings and higher functioning beings to uplift humanity in higher vibrational ways, to heal ourselves, to self-discern and select and self-design. All of those things are the sovereignty of being Christ consciousness, which is Metatronic light. And so we don't need the church and the state for the of who we are. And we have absolute rights within our human rights, within our spirit rights, to speak about our life's expression, to speak about the expression of who we are as a soul. That is my liberation. That is my right. I have spiritual rights to talk about who I am, spiritual rights to talk about what I see. I have spiritual rights to express and explain and experience and share it with the collective, because I am a leader for hybrid, high-functioning crystal, indigo, starseed children, and they need those support systems. They need those people to lead them through these very confusing and very challenging times where there is so much disconnection, there's so much misguidance, there's so much misinformation about spirit, source, God, creator, has nothing to do with religion, and all of the traumas that church and state have brought through simply because of the power over others and the greed and domination and the wounding. It's all wounding. It can all be healed. Everything can be healed. I merely speak about what is in the collective, what needs to be faced, what needs to be fixed. That's my role. I'm a teacher, I'm a healer, and I'm a leader. And I've brought forward the most highest divine teachings that could have staved off and could have helped, assisted millions and millions of people. And yet my channel is constantly, continually being stalked and silenced. And so Spirit's just coming through with end of year cleanup. As the councils have said in their last message, that there will be no further considerations done to any of the groups that were wanting to work things out in the spiritual realms, because everything happens in spiritual realms first, and then it trickles down to the physical. That's why you're seeing so much shakeup in the physical, because the decisions have already been made in the spiritual courts, and it then comes down into the physical. That's why you see governments and all of the systems right now being plucked and pulled and shaken about, because the decisions have already been made in the highest of the heavens. Who are going to be the new earth leaders, the new earth star channelers and keepers of the wisdoms and keepers of the keys, so that we continue evolutionary programs and practices that are balancing and respectful for all life, which it hasn't been. There's no divine feminine in our collective at all as leaders. Zero. Divine feminine are represented as hoes and whores. And we're sabotaged. If we're meant to get money, if we are meant to be successful, we are sabotaged right from the very top all the way down. So the things that I say are direct messages right from spirit. The things that I say are just from the councils of light. That's who I belong with. I belong with the systems of light. Hi, Scotty, sweetie. Just keep an eye on the IP addresses. Just know that there's investigations that are still going on because there will be prosecutions of hate crimes and all the things done, because there is enough evidence now to prosecute the people that have been involved, silencing me, and the YouTube that has been obvious and blatant about suppressing my channel, and the people that have been paying YouTube to suppress my channel. Holy Spirit, please start and seal my chakras, please. I will speak as I will speak. It's my life. I get to speak on my life. Nobody in 3D has a right to say who gets seen, who gets heard, and who gets their soul's experience. This is my soul's experience. I should not be here. I should not have survived the abuses and the attacks, and I will speak on my life. It's my life, and I will speak on it. The soul harvesting, the harvesting to trafficking, RICO crimes that go on in every city is horrible, it's cruel, it's unusual, and it's egregious, and it goes on every hour. And I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't have survived what I went through. And I will speak about my life experience, because life experience heal who we are, and I'm going to heal billions. And they know that. My voice heals billions. My word is. And I will not stand down, I will not step down, and I will not silence. These are rights, and I will prove that through what God allows to unfold, for that we're involved. Everybody is forgiven. From here on out, universal laws. Stay out of my lane, and you will not be touched. Stay out of my lane. I am here to bring higher teachings, healings, and leadership, and higher ethical codes and laws and order. Because we are moving into galactic space, and it's really actually important that we get this whole concept. Just because people want to be powerful and elite and rich and this and that, those are all woundings and ego. And what people do in those energies, and what people do in their shadow, and what people do when they choose not to heal are very egregious crimes to the human life and to the spiritual life. And there's been much misinformation and misguidance through church and state to keep humanity suppressed. I merely talk about it. And because I talk about it, I get attacked, I get put on watch lists, and I get silenced. No, because God writes the plan for all of humanity evolving. And those that choose not to, and those that choose to keep attacking, those that choose to keep running pimping rings and trafficking rings and abusing human laws as a corrupt secret mason, then all of those will remain. You will never be ranked by doing those egregious acts. You will never be ranked, ever. Every corrupt mason that thinks that they sacrifice somebody and thinks that they will be ranked is absolutely ludicrous and insane. You do not understand quantum law. You do not understand the universal laws. Part of the universe, you belong to the universe. The universe trumps all of you. Universal laws are those little small beliefs that you want to power in your clout to don't mean anything to the universal law. We're moving into galactic space. Those universal laws will trump your low vibrational secret society bullshit mess. It's a bullshit and it's a mess. How many people were taken before me? I was to be number 9. That's just in the one little city. That's a coven. That's one little light worker that was seen to make a change in this world. And I got silenced by the very top of the top. I want her gone. She's bad for business. Spirit, there are many corrupt masons that want me dead. And their fate will be equal to every deed that they do. Because why? Because universal laws trump that. And I merely speak it. I will speak the universal laws. And I will stand up as because I am a leader of this new earth star. And we will shine in each and every one of us. Why? Because each and every one of us has a right to express and experience who we are. Nobody's going to stop me from expressing and experiencing my story. It's my fucking story. Nobody owns it. Nobody from the past has an ounce on my life. They don't know me. They don't know me. They have no right to speak on my name. They have no right to trade my name in underground little trafficking rings because they know I'm a spiritual ranked person. Nobody has a right to touch my energy or think that they have a right to trade my energy. You will get immediate karma times 100. Ancestors are pulling everybody up. The spiritual courts have spoken. The spiritual courts have told everybody. Everybody had 3 years to alter course. Spiritual courts have spoken. Everybody's getting touched by all the deeds that have been done that have been crime against humanity. Corruption and crime against silencing and suppressing and squashing those that are here to make profound change for all of the multiverse. So these little 3D little secret groups don't mean shit to the entire multiverse. I'll tell you that right now. So everybody better get their little witch and their little warlock spellcasting rule books out. Better start marking it up to the universal laws, because that's what fucking matters, is the universal laws. And where did we ever go wrong? Why? Because we were being led by church and state, low creational, low dominion, greed, power, control, feeding the church and state what they needed. Because their ego, they're wounding, and they're not healing their wounds. They're not healing the wounds. So if their wounds aren't being healed, what's it going to be? Corrupt systems that will break. Why? Because it's not aligned with the sacred Trinity. It's not aligned with universal laws. It's very simple. It's very basic. Quantum is quantum. What you put out, you're going to get back. Nobody misses that. Nobody misses that karmic judgment. I walk with Anubis. Anubis sees everybody before me, and I read their soul. And that soul will say, what have your deeds been, and how have you made it right? That's what Anubis is. Anubis walks with the scales. I speak it. That's my job. So get used to it, humanity. I am divine feminine, and my voice is. For 1,000 years, we have been nothing. We have been down. We have been silenced. We have been erased. I want everybody to walk away today. Name me 10 people, 10 women that have come forward and been divine masters and healers and leaders for humanity into higher evolution. I want you to go seek out 10 of them. Seek out that are making a difference in this world. Seek out 10 children that are standing and doing above and beyond. Name 10 women that have broken conformity and made a difference in the highest and for the greatest good, even if it's the nurse down the road. Seek out these women. This will balance our planet. And if you see abuse and if you know abuse, then speak on it. That's how you clear your karma. Truth clears your karma, period. You're not going to bring truth, and you're going to keep up the sex magic, you're going to keep up the plots and the denials and the no accountability and putting it off to somebody else and blaming it on your little minions and blaming it on the ones that you paid to do your dirty deeds and your spirit hitmen. You're still going to get karma. Anubis sees everything. Anubis sees any penny paying hands back and forth. How many people were paid to take me out? Spirit says countless. I speak truth. And there's a lot of divine masculines that are so wounded, that are so misogynistic, they cannot handle it. They cannot handle that a divine feminine sees, and I know. So go heal. Same message as 18, go heal. I show everybody. I walk everybody through the process. I walk people through it. I hold your hands. I walk you through it. I lead you to the water. I lead you to the manna. I'm not going to stop speaking on my life experience. Why? Because I honor it. I shouldn't be here. I honor every morning I woke up and God said, get up, let's go. We got a message. Because that's what we'll do. Even if there doesn't seem to be a way, and even if there doesn't seem to be a no way, no how, God's going to bring it. Whether people want to hear it or not, it's got to. I brought the most organized crime, corrupt people out into the open. No other person has ever done that. One person, one psychic, no support, no money, no resources, no nothing. No protection, no nothing. No 3D man. No 3D thing has protected me. Nobody has come to do a due diligence validation on what happened. Nobody, no signatures, no nothing. I haven't signed anything but. And yet a whole bunch of fucking people got paid on my energy and my back. I had permission, not one signature, not one discussion about what could be used in my name, of my energy. Not one. So how's that okay? How does a woman's name get put on a piece of paper and traded back and forth to underground, dark occult bullshit experiences? How's that okay? How is it okay that a divine feminine of such high magnitude that I am to the multiverse, I am very important to the multiverse. I am very important. How is it that this one divine feminine lives with nothing for 50 years, being kept in deceit and lies, betrayals and secret files and secret human testing and secret human experiments, and then being paid minions of a dark occult
communities to attack me and sabotage me and keep me broken and in poverty if I don't come back to their sex coven and be their harvesting battery. The most egregious of experiences, and I get to speak on it, and I fucking will. I will speak on my fucking experience, and nobody will fucking silence me. I shouldn't be here. I'm gonna speak on being here. Like every day I'm gonna bring light. Every day I step forward on this planet, I'm bringing new change. Every day I step forward, I'm gonna liberate the children. Every day I step forward, I'm bringing to truth. Because the systems aren't working, they're broken. Because they're run by broken people. It's not aligned with the sacred Trinity. It's not aligned with the highest purity. It's not aligned with simple, basic fucking truth. Truth, people. The sacred Trinity. That's all you need to align with. Harvesting, sacrificing, dark magic, voodoo on court cases, voodoo on those that are coming forward with information, and all of a sudden people are sacrificing. They don't show up to court when they're supposed to be bringing confessions of what really happened. There is so much corruption, it's not funny. Just the elites cannot be accountable for what they have done for eons. So the spiritual courts have spoken. I'm speaking what the spiritual courts are telling me, what tells me. I speak what God says. That's my job. And if nobody believes there's no God and nobody believes there's no spirit, that's not my problem. I get to be, your reality is your reality. I get to be in my reality, and my reality is pure truth. I speak on it. I speak on it. I don't give a fuck about the smaller beliefs. I'm a multiverse being. I'm a multiverse healer. I'm a multiverse creator. I am a creator God. My voice matters, and I ain't gonna silence. So whether YouTube keeps silencing me, whether YouTube keeps suppressing me, whether whoever is getting paid and whoever the monies are going back and forth for, it is a human rights illegal. It's illegal, it's illegal, it's illegal. I am merely speaking spiritual truth. These are the highest spiritual truths that I speak. And I get very agitated and I get frustrated when it's been 50 plus years of the same BS. And everybody, Spirit showed me yesterday, everybody has been shown who I am. Everybody is suppressing me, throwing magic at my throat. Everybody that does their voodoos and their curses and their little hexes and their little Masonic basements, everybody has been shown who I am. And therefore, thus then, the spiritual courts will be plucking. Because I have my rights, just like you do. I have my rights, just like the Masons do. I have my rights, just as every other woman on this planet. I birth life, and I birth sacred life, and I am changing creation. The abuses to humanity, the abuses to the liberation of humanity as being spiritual, as being enlightened, as being light beings, will come forward. This is our destiny. We have our rights to be light. We have our rights to speak our life's experience and our experience. As Tupac said in my music, and his mission was, why is it so that there is so much discrimination and you place most of the population in poverty? And yet we can't talk about it or sing about it. We can't bring out what truly happens when you suppress somebody so much so that their only acts are crime and abuse and violence. How is that so? And the rappers merely talk about it. The rappers merely say, this is the home and the environment I grew up in. This is the fucking truth of poverty. It's not an answer. Healing is the answer. Healing is the only answer. Unless you want to stay in the lower realms. And so be it. That's your choice. That's your free will as a soul. Stay in the realms. But you can choose to heal in every minute. I've chosen to heal. I forgave everybody a long time ago. Everyone was given 3 years to make right and return the monies, return the mail, return the information that was right in mind from birth. Nobody has a right in the universe, in the spiritual laws, in the human laws. Nobody has an ounce of right to keep anything name of your name in your soul of your soul. Nobody has a right to touch you in any way. They don't have a right to speak on you. They don't have a right to sign for you. They don't have a right to say they know you. They don't have a right to trade your energy. They don't have a right to silence you. They don't have a right to say how important you are and how. Nobody has a right to do so, ever, ever, ever in 1 million fucking evers. And that's all anybody ever tried to do with me. There were so many handlers in my life, and I didn't know about it until the last 6 years. And I started talking about it, and that's when I started to get silenced. Nobody will ever handle me. I belong with the heavens. Nobody will ever touch me. I belong with the heavens. Nobody will ever sacrifice me. I've proved that. I belong with the heavens. I will not be sacrificed. You've all tried your woodoos, little hoodoos, and your little voodoos, and you've tried every black magic spell that you can, and you've tried more sex magic on me than anybody on this fucking planet. And it's gross. I feel every ounce busting, and I get up and I transmute it every day. because that's what healers do. Do the higher and the greater good. That's why God lifts us. That's why God puts us in higher leadership roles. Why? Because my career and my vocation and me being here on this planet has been unblemished. I haven't touched a soul with intention to harm, ever. I speak truth, and that triggers those people that are living in deceit and they're living in demonic energies because they choose not to heal. They choose not to be, choose to live in darkness. That's their choice. I'm merely speaking for the ones that want to heal. I'm speaking for the ones that say, hey, there's a better way. I'm speaking for the ones that says, hey, there's 8 billion people on this planet, heal them. Who's going to bring the highest truth? Who's going to help create new systems that align with universal galactic laws? Where we're not abusing and ripping apart because they're a species that's different from them and they want to take their DNA and want to make them into ultra human and then test them for the rest of their lives and keep them out of the knowing that they're being tested and experimented on. Because that's exactly what was done to me. I am an ultra human. My DNA is very special. That's why there's been all the experiments and the testing, and they don't think that I know about these things. Well, guess what? When you're ultra human, you remember everything. You remember all your lifetimes. You remember all your souls. I remember being the being that the DNA was taken out of. That's years ago. Why? Because I'm an infused soul. I'm healed. Why? Because when you're healed, you get to see all your lifetime. I get to see all my DNA. That's what makes you a Christ consciousness. I see all the aspects of me in my DNA. That's called being healed. That's called being a healer. That's Metatronic. That's the dodecahedron. That's what I teach. And because I teach a higher truth, because I teach higher intelligence, because I am higher intelligence, because I'm a genius, because Brooks, I raised 3 children and I put how many businesses together and I did it all with nothing. Nobody will sacrifice me. God has shown everybody who I am. Spiritual courts have been taking place. Everything's going to be shifted. It has to. If you stay out of my lane and allow me to do my job, my destiny, my mission, you will not be touched. If, on the other hand, you have so much wounding and so much ego and so much misogyny that you want to see me out of the game because you think that I'm calling out your trafficking ring, because you think I'm calling out those that you put voodoo and hoodoo on just so that they can remain numb, dumb, and stupid, I'm going to call you out. God will place you before me. I'm not going to do it. God will. Because you need to be called out. You don't have a right to touch and harm innocent people that have planet to be better and higher. You don't have a right to touch anybody's soul. You just don't. Those are universal laws. Go look them up. Go look up universal laws today. What are the universal laws? You want to be a leader? You want to be a teacher? You want to be a healer? You want to be of a high disease so that you can say that, yeah, I did a great job here. Know your universal laws, people. You're a part of the universe. Use your universal laws in every moment that you make. In every choice that you take, it creates your reality. What reality are you going to create? Low vibrational Epstein Earth? Or are you going to neutralize and heal your wounds and face your misogyny and face your discrimination and face your judgments and face your beliefs and face your own raping? Are you going to face what needs to be fucking faced? And are you going to be a better, higher version of you so that you can make a difference on this earth and you can have a good soul story? Because there's 50 plus people that have been trying to take me out, discriminate me, and create horrible, horrible poverty or to insanity and enforce slavery. That's exactly what I experienced. I was doing all the work. I'm energy. I'm bringing all the ideas. I'm bringing all the channelings, and I'm sitting in poverty. I'm living in my car. You all must feel very proud of yourselves. Even to the highest elites, the ones that said, her gone, she's bad for business. I want to talk to those people. I want to see you in a courtroom, and I will say to your face. And what would you have said to my children? That I just randomly, mysteriously disappeared. You would have called it, oh, she just went crazy and she committed suicide. That's how cowardly you are. And I'm telling you right now, Anubis, he sees every deed on your soul. And all of you are forgiven because you're very dark entities of greed and power and selfishness and jealousy. I forgive you and I feel sad for you. You had no right to touch what you did that caused PTSD and suffering and torment that nobody could survive from. I cried every day for 8 years. And people think they had a right to do human experimenting and take me out, slow dagger. Nobody had a fucking right, and I'm calling it out. And that's my life experience. I get to talk about it because there's millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions that go through exactly what I went through. And they will get up and they will speak on experience, and we will all be positive contributors to a higher vibrational humanity. And every hybrid and every crystal and every indigo and every high functioning autistic and all the people that actually care about energy. Please protect my chakras, Holy Spirit. This is thy speech of thy day, and the heavens have given me authority to speak on it so. The egregious acts towards sacred life on this planet, where God breaths every single life with purpose and with gratitude. God bows to every person and baby and life and animal and wisdom that is ever breath through any human life and insect and anything that is breath upon breath. That is the blessing of God to go forth and create. That is the blessing of every human. Forth and create, go forth and create, go forth and create. And anybody that interferes with that creation, another, is in disaccordance of the first universal law, right use of free will and non-interference. And if the celestials take that so verily that they would never land here and take over our free will, why do you think it's so important for every human to take that on as their highest lesson? Right use of free will and non-interference. Don't interfere with anybody. Stay out of everybody's lane. Get busy with your own healing. You don't have a right to touch other person's fucking life. You just don't. If you are not healed, if you are imbalanced, stay out of people's lives. Get yourself healed. You don't have a right to do magic. You don't have a right to sabotage them. You don't have a right to sacrifice anybody. Nobody has a right to sacrifice any. Period. This is the laws of star, and they begin with universal laws. They begin with aligning with the sacred Trinity. They begin with basic respect of human life. And it hasn't been. It's been thousands of years of church and state corruption. Because if it wasn't so corrupt, why is the trafficking business a black web business, a multi-billion business? And it's called a business. Because there is so much disconnection, there's so much misguidance, there's so much misunderstanding, and everybody's getting paid except the people they sacrifice. You will never sacrifice me and my soul. Nobody will touch my spirit. I stand for every woman that's been beaten, raped, tortured, and tormented, and trafficked with voodoo and numbness since the day that they were born, so that they be used as a harvesting soul battery agent for their corrupt families and polygamy, where they use women as energy harvesting tools to manifest and to get more things. I speak truth, dear lighted ones, and if that triggers you, off my channel. You're being triggered because you need to heal. These are the truths of our reality that are being faced right now. And as we've seen in the collective outbursts of those that are most imbalanced, and who's going to heal them? Who is going to stop the imbalanced outbursts? Because there's no information being taught about light. There's information being taught about healing. There's no information being taught about the highest light wisdom healers that are saying this is all necessary. Every shooting that occurs is unnecessary. Every child that's hurt is unnecessary. Every child that's trafficked is unnecessary. Everything can be healed. My message is the same, and yet my channel is absolutely at zero. And YouTube, you better be sure, you should be so very proud of yourselves. YouTube and the leaders and the ones that say they want me gone, all the misogynists and all of those that say they want to stay in their old church and state and they want to stay dark and they want to stay unhealed. You're going to be shifted in your lower realm because that's where you're choosing. You're choosing darkness, you're choosing discrimination, you're choosing violence. It's 100% unnecessary. Everything is healable. Everything that I've said for the past 17 years is healable. Go back to my KCOR. It is a very old playlist of my very first teachings. I have a destiny on this planet in the multiverse. It belongs as one. I am a multiverse being as one. I walk with Lord Sananda. I walk with Anubis. I walk with the heavens. I walk with Thoth. I walk with Jesus. Jesus is me every day. Mother, Father are with me every day. Everything I say, everything I say, everything I say. The Holy Creator is here. There is sacredness in every breath. There is sacredness in who we are. There is promise and hope for a better and higher day. The only way to clear your karma is truth. That is the only redemption. I have forgiven everyone in the past. I have forgiven everybody for the lies, for the betrayals, for the allowing me to be raped and molested. I've forgiven every soul. I forgive every person that's ever traded my name that thinks you have power to trade my name because you don't. God has given me all of my power and all of my spirit and all of my light back. It's just a pretend game for you. You will always end up in loss. You will always end up in dark karma because that's your choice. Every intention is your return. You're intending to take something from a divine being. You're intending to rape a divine being. You're intending to silence a divine being. You're intending to silence a divine daughter of God. I am the daughter of God. Father wants me to say something, and this is going to trigger some people, but it needs to be said. I am equal as Jesus. That's my ranking. And the people were exactly who I was. Father wanted that said. I've known that since the day I was born. Spells and curses and hexes you put on me. When I walk, I change the earth. And Jesus is lifting me up. Why? Because my life is a prophecy. My life is the prophecy. And I'm living it. I shouldn't be here, and I am. I am the prophecy. That is my ranking. One that anybody can take that up with is Spirit and Source Creator God, Mother, and the Father. Are the creators of the entire life systems of our universe. And they belong to multiverse gods and creators. And every timeline, every dimension, every bandwidth is held with Metatronic light that each person can choose to navigate and swim around. And this planet has been so deeply wounded and warped because of incarnation, because of old ways and old stagnant and old things that need to be healed. Discrimination has been our highest and our operator. And it is why people act out, and it is why people are doing their outbursts. The most important thing right now are vibrational teachers, healers, and leaders on this planet. The leaders of our countries and the leaders of the world refuse to allow us to be seen and heard. And then you have to ask yourself, what, why, and how am I giving energies to these systems? Nobody has a right to sacrifice or do spell work on another. And if you do, you better know your universal laws, because it's coming back 100-fold. Spiritual courts have already spoken. The 51 people that have been involved in raping and taking and sabotaging and silencing my life, you don't think that I know who I am? I am ranked equally as Jesus. And as Jesus raises in the inner realm, so do I. And God will make that known to every person that is placed before me. And the only make that up with is God. God's going to keep showing you who I am. And I'm speaking truth. I'm going to keep standing for divine feminine. I'm going to keep raising these children with light in their hearts. I'm going to keep sending light to the oceans. I'm going to keep sending light to the air. I'm going to keep sending forest. I'm going to keep sending light to the children every fucking day. Why? Because I have a right to speak on my life. This I am as a hermit. I live as a hermit. I don't party. I don't take big pharma. I haven't taken big pharma for over 8 years. I don't even take aspirin. Drugs. Never have. What else you want to say about me? Oh, that I'm a hooker in the streets. I have been celibate for 14 years. And it's about me. I'm being sold to the underground and traffic back and forth. These are things that are being done on my name and energy because people know I got spiritual ranking. And they think that they're playing a game with me. And they think they're playing a little token of my energy and my light. Well, guess what? Karma times 100, karma times 100, karma times 100. There's only one being on this planet that's allowed to use my life force energy. And that person knows who they are. And that is the king equal to my queen. And that person knows who he is. Nobody else is allowed to use my life force, given permission or authority. And anybody that is using my life force for self-gain, they will absolutely get their karma. Why? Because that's not how it's meant to be used. It's meant to be used for the greater good. See, this is what the imminence and arrogance and darkness does. They're not mature. They don't understand that every deed is creating their reality. And there is a shifting out. God is showing it every day. Divine feminine have every equal right to be equal in leadership. Divine feminine have every right to be a leader and a speaker of the Holy Christ and Holy, Holy, Holy Spirit that is not of church and state. But there were just rules and things that we started with, but it's time to grow up. It's time to get bigger and higher and better. It's time to be light. And however I so choose, and nobody has a right to put a silencing mechanism on my screen. Nobody has a right to put a veiling over my accounts. Nobody has a right to say who I'm going to be and what I'm going to be and who I'm going to be married to. Nobody has an ounce. My compass is God, period. I talk to God every day. 24/7, I'm talking to God. And God said to me this morning, Joanna, if you go out to the public and you go out to the masses and you go out to the billions, can you bring the highest level of compassion for those there that are the most harm to you? And I said, Spirit, I forgave them a long time ago. I have my right on with a happy life. I have my right to get on with my voice. I have the right to get on with the things I want to create that are endless and infinite. I got infinite projects on the back burner, just waiting for the resources that were always mine. The resources were always mine. The mission was always mine. The journey was always mine. The fate was always mine. Why? Because I've earned it. I've earned it by not making it in 900 other lifetimes. I've earned it by healing people that I didn't even know, and that come back in the next lifetime and say, hey, you healed me last lifetime, and this is my karma to you. Can I help you out a little? My ranking is equal to Jesus, dear lighted ones. And why does that trigger you so very much? Why is it that Jesus can be Jesus, but I can't be me? If the Father says the divine feminine will be lifted as higher ranking than to Jesus, will that be? If the Father says, Joanna, we're going to lift you higher, can you be okay with that? Can you be okay with the ones that just want to see Jesus as the only leader of the truth, of the speaking of the Mother God? I'm not filling anybody's shoes. That's not my role. And Jesus and I have many conversations about that. That's my healing. I'm not here to fill in anybody's shoes. Jesus is my brother. Jesus is my master. Him, and he bows to me. When I speak to Jesus, he bows to me. Why? Because he has ultimate respect for all that is life. And divine feminine needs to be held equally. Why do you think he was so balanced in his divine feminine energies? Why do you think he could heal the way he did? Because he was fully balanced, androgynous. He was a high vibrational light being just like me. He was a high functioning conduit just like me. Except back in those days, they didn't have the internet of billions of people and really elite people that pay their little minions and their little secret societies to do little witch and warlock things over your abundance and over your lovers and over the people that they want to do magic on and over the people they want to control and operate like little puppets back and forth and back and forth. Everybody's going to be a puppet for us because we're the elites and we're telling people what to do because it makes us feel so very special. Feeling special is knowing that you've healed someone you didn't even know. Special is healing someone even though they raped them before. Being special is saying, no, you're going to get up for the millionth fucking time because there's children that need your voice. That's being special. Being special is standing up when everybody says, sit down. I ain't sitting down. And if my ranking of being a divine feminine that just knows things more than you do, then that's your wounding. Go there and heal it. That is the only way out of your karma. That's the only way out of separation. Because that's what separation is. Discrimination and separation is a disease, and it will show itself to you in your life. Why? Because energy is everything. That's what we've been talking about. Go back to my very first Case You All radio shows. Go back, do the healing. Your wounds so they do not become another's. Before you reach out, go within. My messages have been the same, dear lighted ones. Why is it triggering so many people? God said when the timing, the truth will be known. God said when the timing is right, the wisdoms will be known. God said when the timing is right, those will be lifted with the highest vibrational truth that will change the soul of a person. That's what I do. I have that. When I speak truth, it changes the souls of those before me. Why? Because I'm reminding you who you are. You were born as Metatronic light. There ain't no doubt about that. I'm here because of that. I'm here because of my light. I'm here because I said, no, I'm returning to that light. No matter what they do to me, I will get up on who I am. You cannot take away what I know. How many mind-scraping spells did you do on me? How many forgetful spells did you do? How many of that voodoo crap did you do on me? Just so I wouldn't remember who I am. They've tried over 3,000 times, they're showing me right now. They've tried over 1,000 times to block my third eye so that I can't see and I can't speak. Spirit just said 1,000. That's the magic number for today, dear lighted ones. What's in the number 30? And then you add 20 to that. What's in that? What does 3,000 have to do with 900 lifetimes? What are those numbers there, dear lighted ones? We're going quantum on you right now. Why? Because Thoth is with me. I walk with Thoth, with Hara. I walk with Anubis. I walk with the ancients. I walk with the seers. I walk with the sages. They're showing me a vision right now where we were involved in lifting those rocks to build pyramids. Why? We did it all out of vibration. We all did it out of sound. We all did it out of unity consciousness. That's higher vibrational information, dear lighted ones. And even the peoples in Egypt are keeping that information from you. Why? Because we did it in the temples. We did it in the underground temples where we learned about consciousness. And that's what I teach. I teach about consciousness. Why does that trigger you so? Because that's not where you were aligned. But we're saying now if you're triggering and you're getting a little trigger on, be happy about that little trigger, an orgasm. Because that trigger is showing you, wow, I can be in a much higher state and I'm going to be in ecstasy. Try that. How about I try just going with this little trigger? And how about I going within it? Now, how about I heal it? How about I say I'm one with that trigger? I'm one with that shadow. I'm one with all those things. Because you are. One of you has a dodecahedron. On every single little facet of that dodecahedron, go look it up. I want each of you to go look at a crystal image of a dodecahedron. That's who you are. And every facet and every face has a darkness and has a light to it. Can you accept it? Can you make it work? Because that's unity consciousness. That's the new cosmic law. And that's what I bring forward in the higher order. That's my right. That's my birthright. That's my authority. That's why I'm ranked just like Jesus. I am that I am. That's what that means. Not my problem, you get triggered. I'm merely speaking truth. So I'm not allowed to speak my truth, but the corrupt and the low vibrational and the ignorant and the arrogant get to speak their truth. How's that okay? Isn't that discrimination? Isn't that against human rights? Isn't that against all spiritual order? Isn't that against all spiritual laws? The children have equal rights to every person on this planet, yet they're trafficked. How come? Because they're sold and they're easily manipulated and voodooed. Why? Does that make you a high person? Does that make you ranking because you can sacrifice your magic and your warlockery? It's not making you special at all. You're not ranked. You'll stay in lower realms with the lower deities that you pray to. I'm ranked. Every divine feminine on this planet is ranked. We bring life to this planet when there was no life before. We are ranked. We know when someone needs to be healed, and we heal. Even if we've been done wrong 8 million times before. Because why? Because we're aligned with the higher and the greater good. Always have been. My placement on this planet has been unblemished. That means that with no intention I've ever hurt anybody. Without malintent, because my words speak life over all. Those that have hurt me, I'm speaking life over you. If you choose to bring your truth forward, and you choose to make it right by returning the mail and the information and the monies that you know you took and you know that you withheld, you will be forgiven and your souls will be redeemed. I have that authority. I don't need to talk with you. I don't need to face you. If God says that it is important for you to face me and apologize, then that's part of your current, because God says it is your judgment to say an apology to my face because of the infinite times I've hurt and lied and betrayed me. And God will lead you, because God will not let you off the hook until you say sorry to me and you say sorry to my face that you have harmed. And you sent hate isn't at all, but your wounding. And each and every one of you will know, because you will feel the gut and you'll feel it in the belly. But I'm saying, as for my soul, I've released you. You're all forgiven. And if I sleep in my car and a night stay at a hotel, I will be grateful for all of it. Because I'm here, I'm standing. And I know without a question of a doubt. And that's why God's gonna lift me. Because God knows when I'm in front of the people, I pour it all out. And if someone needs a healing, they're gonna get healed. And aligned, they're gonna get aligned. And if someone needs to reclaim their power from corrupt entertainment, elite moguls, then they will do so, and they will be freed and liberated, because they own none. No contract binds you to anything. It's an illusion. You're stating your universal godliness, dear lighted ones, and I'm teaching you how to do so. And if any intent is mal or ill-aligned, then you will get it equally, because that is just quantum law and nobody will escape it. Ill intent, diseased, impactful, and interference on any level, you will be on the negative side of the infinity, and that will be the reality you will create, and everybody will get plucked and they will be shown their karma. None get out of this. Karma is very real. It's called universal laws. So before you do your magic, before you do your sacrificing in your secret cult coven, little basement rituals, absolutely know you to another is coming back tenfold, 100-fold, and it must. If that is the only way for people to wake up, then so shall it be. I am the voice of the heavens, and I bring sacred truth. That sacred truth will trigger those that are in their darkness and their shadow. That trigger is showing you a shadow. Put and work on it. And if you choose to do so with the highest intent of healing yourself and your lineage, because everything you stay stuck in, your children will stay stuck in, are meant to be their highest portal of light and change. That's contract, dear lighted ones. It's called a soul blueprint. How you affect others in your choices. How you affect others in being exactly who you are and not standing down to your soul story and your of it. And please protect my throat chakra, dear Holy Mother Father. And those rappers that are aligned in their heart space, they had powerful missions. Just like Lady Diana, just like Robin Williams, just like Bob Marley, just like Elvis, just like Prince, just like all the other sons and mavericks that were purely aligned at their heart, just like Tupac. Those that speak of what truly goes on in the darkness and in the shadows must be faced. And it can be done without violence and done with pure genius of who we are as light, to transmute anything with consciousness and light. Because we now have higher teachings, we now have higher learnings, we now have higher institution of who, and I teach it and I offer it. And how is that an offense to be silenced, sabotaged, and attacked for decades? I ask you, dear lighted ones, if this is how you treat the one that is equal to that, then we have come no further in the crucifixion. Crucified me 3,000 times over. 3,000 is a number for today. Go do your math. I've been over in this lifetime in interdimensions for over 900 times. They're showing me 983, somewhere around there. And in these lifetimes, I've gained experience and I've learned how to integrate my soul fragments. I can see the DNA that was given to me from another generation before. I can see what was done in the secret societies. I can see what was done in the MK Ultras. I can see what was done in these ultra-human experiences. Because it was my DNA. Why? Because the DNA is Christ consciousness. The DNA is multidimensional. The DNA is Metatronic light. The DNA can make C and B whatever you want. I'm now integrating that DNA. And what does that DNA do when I integrate it? It activates it fully. I've now become that being that was sitting on that lab table where the DNA was taken and placed into human. And they say, well, we're going to put a forgetful spell and we're going to block her third eye so that she forgets. And we're going to do mind scraping so she forgets who she is so that we forget all the experiments we've done on her. My DNA is far stronger. Why? Because it's multidimensional. Why? Because it's Metatronic. Why? Because it's light. Because it's Christ consciousness. I'm that soul that sat on that lab table that the DNA was taken out of. And now I'm me. That just shows you the infinite blessings of that dodecahedron. God will bless me in whatever body God needs me. Because I do have a mission. I do have a destiny. I am the prophecy. And if that triggers you, go do your healing. Because who said divine feminine weren't allowed to have a fucking voice? All divine feminine across all timelines, we are being healed right now, right now, right now. We are important and our voices matter. Speak on my life experience. I will speak on my soul's experience. I will speak on the abuse and say, yeah, I got a healing for that. I got a healing for that too. I got a healing for that. 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 What else you want to talk about? Next, next, next. I'm already on my 5th book and you're calling me insane. I've created businesses out of nothing and you're calling me insane. I'm running circles around the highest people on this planet and you're calling me insane. No, I'm the DNA from the people that you took me from last time and last time and last time and last time. And then you did experiments to silence, squash me and sabotage me until there's nothing left of me, until I'm poor and I'm broke and I'm insane living on this, just as you wanted me. Why do you think there's so many homeless? Because they've been broken and destitute and they've just been told they're not enough, they're not enough, they're not enough. They don't matter. Their voice does much discrimination. Well, you're not going to have a chance to create something beautiful, to create something good. I am proof of fucking hope of the heavens, dear lighted ones. I am hope and I am promise. And I will up every day. And I will bring a higher truth. Why? Because there's billions that need me and want me. I am the answer to the asking. That is what prophecy is, dear lighted ones. God knew it way back when. God knew it now because it's all now. I am the answer to humanity's asking. Why aren't my light teachings being known by all? Why aren't how to survive in black magic? Why aren't my teachings known to all? Why the divine feminine voice can put together 8 businesses if she wants to within a matter of 8 weeks. Why isn't that known? Why isn't divine feminine healing peace for all? Why isn't that known? Why isn't it known how we can heal trafficking that another child will never ever be sexually touched or abused ever again so that there will be no more wound and there will be leaders that absolutely know how to lead? Simple basic things of basic human rights and treating life as respectful as all. How come that is so hard for some? Because they are disconnected. They have a misunderstanding and a misguided, and they are no connection with spirit. And if you're not connected with spirit, and if you are not aligned with spirit, you simply will not ascend. And you will be led to egregious things because you're disconnected. You don't care about life around you. Unity conscious 5D, dear lighted ones. Everything you do affects all others. My voice changes creation. In this new world today, I offer this peaceful setting. And in this promise of hope, in this promise of the lands of born new. Divine Holy Mother and Father, speak through me in this moment right now for a speech for the a blessing for the all and a blessing for all lands, all planets, and all realms. You have no idea, dear lighted ones, how many souls and how many bodies and how many forms that you take up on other planets. And we are telling you in this moment right now, you are so very dearly loved that every breath is given to you without a question. It's unconditional. That even in your saddest moment, and even in when you don't know what's going on, and even in your most confused and disheartened moment, we're telling you right now, you are so dearly loved and you're going to wake up feeling better because you just transmuted a whole bunch of darkness and density you chose to let go of. You don't have to hang on to that karma. You don't have to hang on to that guilt. You don't have to hang on to that shame because there was a lot of misguidance and misinformation of people in power and greed and jealousy and they're all wounded. And they wanted to make you feel really bad because that's how you stay connected to their energy harvesting patterns and agendas. But you can reclaim your power every day. You can reclaim all that you are every day, and every day onto a higher state of being, which is love and forgiveness, and giving it all that you got in what your unique voice is for your 3 E's and your 3 A's, and every day practice it. Very simple techniques to move you along. And the only thing that matters, dear lighted ones, is upon our hearts. And we say to the Divine Mother and Father with the purity of our heart that it makes us want to cry and fall down to the ground. Holy Mother and Father, as many times as I've been brought to my knees, be it through my own manifestations or others, I will get up and I will be 100% truth. Because I know that in speaking of truth, I bring people liberation. I bring people of those that have been in cults and covens and they have been abused mentally and spiritually and sexually, that they liberate themselves because I care for their souls and I'm going to walk them through the gates. That's my authority. And even if you threw sacrifices and death spells at me, I can still liberate your soul. Why? Because that's my authority. Because when you're knowing who you are and when you're misaligned and you're disconnected, you do foolish things and you are forgiven. Walk through the gates on your own accord, delighted ones. Will you forgive your brothers and sisters this holiday season? Will you forgive those that are in the collective that are creating their own outbursts and manifestations so that you don't have to? So I'm going to forgive my brother and sister. I forgive you for your abuses. I forgive you for your lies. I forgive you for your stealing and your theft and your fraud and your rape. Our debts to each other are cleared. I forgive you. It's all forgiven. I want each and every one of you today, after our session today and after our beautiful sermon, I want each and every one of you to go away and think about something that you can forgive, something you or something that somebody owes you. I want you to forgive it. And this is the liberation of soul. I want you to go away and think of 3 things that you can do for somebody that you never would have done today. Whether it be sending them something kind or nice or shoveling their driveway, or whether it be sending them a nice note because you know that they're going through something harsh. Can you sit in 5 minutes of silence and sending light to the children? Can you sit in 5 minutes sending light to the waters? Can you send 5 minutes of silence sending light to the air that you breathe? Can you send 5 minutes of silence to every person that's being trafficked because they were sold and told lies? And can you give the forgiveness to those that do it? I forgive everybody. I don't have an ounce of hate or hurt against any of you. I want you to walk through those gates because that is your proof that you are worthy. And that's my mission and my prophecy. God showed me I'm worthy enough to survive what I went through. You can be forgiven to show yourself your own worthiness, to come up of wherever you are. And for a lot of times, especially those of being abused, you can't help but think it must be my fault. Why is everything not succeeding? I don't understand the suppressions. It must be not worth it. In so many years, I beat myself up. God said my voice is special, it's going to be heard. I've been trained and prepared and entrained for eons. I'm one of the greatest healers and speakers on this planet that have ever been seen. And I'm worthy. That's my prophecy I speak for all of you. And only a divine feminine can speak it. Because she knows the pain her children go through. You're not meant to belong what you're not meant to belong to. So be okay with it. You're not meant to fit in circles, you're not meant to do that. You're meant to create new circles. You've been through what you've been through because you notice discrimination and you notice judgments. Just as the very great icons like Tupac are sitting in violence all the time because that's what they were suppressed to. And they didn't have the lights back then to reclaim their power and show a way out. But they speak through me. Every child that sits alone in poverty and every child that sits alone not a week at a time. I know you. I just came off of 12 days of not eating. All I had was water for 12 days. And I made a game of it. I said, let's see if I can go to 14, Spirit. Because of the poverty that everybody left me in and the savaging they do on my platforms. And I'm tested. Children should never be left. Children should never be left in houses where black magic and voodoo are going, minds are going into mush. People ought to know that everything you do energetically affects everything around you, and I'm a survivor. My voice is important, and I'm giving everybody hope. Through my forgiveness of you, creation is liberated. You owe me nothing. You're forgiven of all your debts. My gift is my speech, and I will share it till my last breath, because I heal people in their souls. And if I want to be healed, I have the authority to heal that being. And it takes but they will be healed. And because of who and how I carry myself as divine feminine, and because of the wisdoms I know, sometimes I can see. That was the justice for being abused for so long. And I'm telling everybody today in this speech and of forgiveness, call 3 people that you can forgive. Forgive them of all their debts. Forgive them of all their ways. And I pray to you that your life and your soul will be liberated to such heights. Carry around an ounce of darkness for another. Liberate it. Forgive them today. Forgive them for their deeds. Forgive them for their touching on you. Forgive them for the raping of your soul. Forgive them from the claiming of your ideas being. Forgive them all. I pray that you have a beautiful body next lifetime. I pray that you have a beautiful heart. Because you will be a healer in your next life, and they will need you. And you will need to speak on these stories from your last lifetime, that you forgave yourself and you forgave others that raped you. The greatest thing you can do today, dear lighted one, be the highest hope of the heavens, and the heavens will align you to your highest timeline. I ask all of you, sit in prayer today and go to your knees. Do you provide for us? Forgive where it needs to be forgiven. I forgive everybody that ever tempted and initiated hate on my soul. You are also forgiven. You're my brothers and my sisters. No. I love you. And I thank you so much for the lessons I have learned, for being a high vibrational being, and God lifted me to my brother's status. Because the only thing I care about is helping humanity heal. That's my status, my ranking. And I can go weeks without eating because that's my authority. I know that. I said to Spirit, last week I said, well, if my life force is my life, then I'm going on day 12 without eating. I get to 14 because my breath is. And it's okay, all my bills are behind, and it's okay, my financial life and my personal life is all messed up because of Persian and the lies done on my name and my accounts. And I'll clean up that mess. All is forgiven. I'll clean up the mess of the 50 years of lies. It's all forgiven. What else do you need from me? God has shown you in every way who I am. What else do you need from me? What does divine feminine have to do to be seen and heard as valued? We are used in a nothing. Until you need some light, until you need the promise of forgiveness. I ask you, dear lighted ones, in all of your heart today, if you want to do the kindest thing that you can do for yourself and your soul and your health and your diseases in your body, drop to your knees and face a window and face nature. You face the heavens and you say, dear Mother, Father, I ask you to come inside of me, and I want your purity of intent. I want the light of being Christic. I want the light of being Metatronic. Every aspect of my soul, I want to be that dodecahedron. I want to be all-infused soul. That all-infused soul is going to give me every wisdom of every lifetime I've ever had, and my DNA will speak through me. And that's what I do. I speak in messages of codes of light. And when people can't understand why I remember 3 lifetimes ago, or the DNA that was taken out of an alien celestial being, out of misinformed contracts by governments, that DNA speaks through me. That's how Christic God is. That's how multidimensional God is. That's God. That DNA is speaking through me. That DNA is me. And because I'm creational, and because I was tested and I was put through all of these experiences and experiments, I signed on that contract because I'm a powerful being. And I hope and promise, no matter who you are, no matter what you are. High functioning indigo, star child, seed, doesn't matter what you call yourself. Autistic, it doesn't matter what the boxes and the labels are. It doesn't matter if you're trans, it doesn't matter if you're bi. It doesn't matter if you're closet bi, it doesn't matter trans. It doesn't matter. You're a powerful soul and your voice needs to be heard. And I'm the hope of that. I'm healing all timelines, I'm healing all realms. That's why I walk with Anubis. God will set whoever God needs to set up for these discriminations on our planet to be healed. And God will bring exactly who needs to be brought in front of you for you to heal your wounding and your discriminations, your judgments. Who sits before you? Are they sacred? Yes or no? Every person sits before you this holiday season. I want you to ask yourselves as you're sitting down at your family dinners and your turkey dinners that I haven't had any in the last 5 years. Haven't been invited to any family functions. Because people didn't want to speak spiritual. So they can be who they are and they can talk about their jobs and they can talk about their corruptions, but I can't be spiritual. Prophets never accepted in their own family or town. I get that. At what point and how much does God need to show you? You won't get a free pass into the heavens. You got to earn your consciousness. I teach. And that brings so many to their trigger points because they just don't want to be humbled by the higher wisdom of higher heavens. This planet will be rewritten. That is our universal law number 1. Right use of free will. Those that want to choose light will be gifted that presence and they will be lifted to the gates. If their purity of intent is to be their highest light being, their highest soul, their highest enlightenment, their highest wisdom, their highest expansion, if it is that soul will be lifted, period. And nobody in 3D will hold that being back. That is a universal law. I am the proof of that. There are many lessons for every single human on this as to why and how and who God will lift. What discrimination judgments have all of you had come into this channel throughout time? And there was blaming and judgments for those moments of darkness that I said and I talked about human testing and human experimenting. And I was one of the very first people to talk about, bring it out, of the corruptions of the secret societies and the elites that were paying them to be their dark little minions, to make sure that people like me never get seen or heard from again. And the dark and corrupt entertainment business, how many times and how many famous people and how many clout chasers are harvesting energy off their subscribers and off their payors. It's called elite soul harvesting and been done for a very long time. And there's many corrupt entertainment people that are doing many horrible little rituals and taking people out and sacrificing and pretending it's not them and having their little dark minions do it for them. None will be missed. The only way through this, dear lighted ones, is your truth. That's your only redemption. And if you choose not to do that, you will realms. That is very black and white. You either carry your soul's evolution or you do not. You will not be gifted another body, another incarnation. There's no purity of heart for you to ever add consciousness and add unity to anything. Why would you body when all you do is abuse? You abuse spiritual laws, you abuse the laws. Why would you be given another body? Why would you be given the grace of another timeline to come back and heal something and make something right? Everybody knows in every moment what you do to other affects somebody, whether it's withholding information, whether it's withholding money, whether it's withholding information that you have of something that's going to make somebody's life easier. Whatever it is that you are holding on to, whatever it is that's making you feel powerful or handling somebody and controlling, dominating somebody and suppressing somebody, whatever it is that you think you are doing, absolutely no. You will be kept in the lowest of realms until all of eternity. Until you get that lesson. All that you do to another is that dodecahedron facet you're doing to yourself. And you're going to experience that suppression. You're going to have to go through your karma judgment. That is very important for you to go through. The elites on this planet will go through their judgments. They have done very little sharing with the poorest of the poor, helped make poor of the poor. There has been zero sharing of the elites on this planet. And everybody will go through cycles of their karma where they must face their deeds so that they can go into a cycle of soul growth. That's why we have ascension. That's why we have cycles in our biophysical bodies. That's why we have cycles in all that is quantum light. And if you choose to refuse that growth cycle, and if you choose to refuse doing right, and if you refuse to make truth out of a situation that was done so much harm, then it will be done for you, and that court step in. Whether it's a high-functioning billion-dollar platform, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. You're not untouchable. Your money doesn't rank you. What you do as a soul ranks you. I outrank all of the elites on this planet. I outrank every one of them. My soul is untouchable. I give those children in those trafficking rings hope. Get up, children. Get up. Speak your truth. Create, sing, dance, paint. This is the human spirit connection. And everything that is not connected will be seen. And I merely... Each and every one of you today, I ask you to go forward in this holiday season. And I pray to you, I pray to each and every one of you for your own forgiveness and for your soul's evolution, because there's going to be big jumps coming as soon as the new year hits. I ask each and every one of you today, seek 3 people that you can forgive of all their debts to you. Seek 3 people that you can, with the purity of your heart and intention. In this moment right now, I write off all debts. You're free from all debts to me. I free you from your debts. I free you from the darkness that you're holding, from the guilt. I free you from the shame. I free you, I free you, I free you. May your souls be liberated. May you return to source. May you return to source in the highest experience of your redemption. I pray for your redemption. I pray for the deeds that you did against me, and I know you were a growing soul and you were in a dark place. I forgive you. I forgive you 77 times 7. Do something nice for your neighbor. Doesn't matter how many times they've scowled at you. Send Christmas people that don't want to have you over for dinner. Send them light and love. And for those beautiful 2 beings that have been sending me money and allowing me to eat, your souls will always be lifted and you will always be protected. Because you're the sweetest beings on this planet, not God. Out of the billions of people on this planet, and out of the billions of people that could, they did. And there were 2 people that didn't have a lot. They gave what little they had. And they've been doing it for years. This isn't just a one-time thing. They do good things behind the doors. And their deeds will be forgiven on all timelines, in all ways. Because they lifted me to make a speech, and they lifted me to have my voice being heard and shared. Because they know my God. They know my connection for New Earth. They know my connection with the Celestials. They know my connection with galactic federations. They know my connection with the Earth. They know my connection with the whales. They know my connection with the waters and the oceans and the forests. Why? Because I've been in healing sessions with them when we talk about stuff. Call in ancestors from all over the multiverse. These people know me. They are my disciples. And these are the people that don't speak on me, but besides saying she's a great healer, go to her. The people that speak on me in any other way, they don't know me. That's how you know a disciple. Disciples know the healing profundity that one carries in their heart and soul, and I will align the galaxy if I have to. That's how powerful I am. I make planets from my breath. I can bring somebody healing just by touch. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. God said to me years ago, Joanna, don't ever stoop to anybody's level that you have to prove anything. I will do that. I will lift you to the masses, and everybody will see with their blatant eyes and their blatant hearts. I said, okay, God, I bow to you. I was bow to Mother, Father, God. They have a plan for life. They have a plan for all lives. Do you trust it? Can you surrender to Mother, Father, God? Can you do that today while you're healing and you're forgiven? You say, I forgive everybody. I've written 3 letters. I've sent them emails. They're forgiven of all debts. I have right off. I'm not working it in my finances anymore. You're forgiven. Happy Christmas. I love you. Everything that was wrong done to me, I forgive you. I forgive all the and the betrayals. I forgive you. I love your soul. You're my brother. You're my sister. Let them go on the merry way. And in that, I surrender to you, Mother, Father. I forgive you. I forgive myself for not surrendering sooner. Because you have plans for me that I don't even know. Because sometimes when I feel weak, that sometimes maybe my voice doesn't matter because it's just not being heard and seen. And my gods and my teams on the other side. And Tupac and Lady Di and all the beings that I speak for on the other side, starseeds that didn't get to finish their missions. They come through and say, get up, this. And they bring me lyrics, and they bring me poems, and they bring me stories that I just cannot help but write. I am a galactic princess once, and I will share personal, intimate experiences of who I am with the collective because it's in. I am a princess brought from many galaxies and many realms, and I have played on all sides. I've been kept as a slave of beings, and my soul has been raped more times than any can count. And this timeline right now is different because I get to lead. I get to lead a collective that didn't think things were possible, and yeah, they are. Everything is fucking possible. Up. Get up and forgive what you need to forgive. Along the way. And in that light, you're going to go through a lot of darkness and shadows, and you're going to claim yourself as new again. And you're going to remember lifetime. You're going to remember the actual DNA that came from whatever being it came from, whether it's a Pleiadian, a Sirian, Orion. I had this vision the other about 2 weeks ago when I was going through a dark night of the soul healing. And why such profound healings when you're a master, when you've gone through so many healings before, because you know how to walk yourself through the darkness. You walk through the valley of death. That's what it's called. And I literally walked through the valley of death. When you remember your DNA. There was a celestial being that was here, part of an agenda to assist humanity in communicating with celestials. And this being was here to assist in higher vibrational communication and building a bridge, because higher vibrational beings do that. We build bridges. We show people what has been. Here's a way around it. Here's what we can do. Let's build something. Our communication with allness, the dodecahedron, let's make that bridge. It's a rainbow bridge. And this is why we're called the 13th tribe. And that's why there's 13 dimensions. And there are light workers like myself that are bridge builders, and we're heavenly co-creators. And that being was a part of the contract in the 1950s. And the certain people that were in power chose to disregard the contract of respect to that celestial being. And that celestial being was used in an experiment. That DNA ended up being the DNA that I was born in. And as soon as I healed that energy of that soul fragment of being tested and left for dead, literally, and then the DNA used, for the ultra-human, testing type of thing. I awoken in that experience, and I had my 3 Arcturian family members, because they had sent me to be a part of this building of a bridge for higher vibrational energies to keep working with humanity, to keep helping evolve humanity. And I took that contract on very bravely, and had to go through a lot of healing and releasing for feeling abandoned and isolated by my celestial teams, and eventuated in me ending up on a sterile lab table where my DNA was being taken and used. And luckily, I have that DNA. So very, very lucky. But there's a reason why God brings the lifetimes and the soul fragment healing that I teach so very important. If I didn't do that soul fragment healing, I wouldn't have seen the pain and trauma that celestial had been through by being brought forward as a starseed, helping communication to higher vibrational realms. Humans can choose not to take part in, and they can choose to disrespect divine benevolent contracts of cosmic and galactic unity and oneness. And they have been, it's been, that's why we go about protocol. That's why we go about first contact in a very divine and sacred way. There has been contracts broken, breaches of contracts broken with disrespect and just wanting to use celestial beings for our DNAs, wanting to use for our intelligence, and then put us through human testing to see how much of humanity's problem we solve while we remain poverty, broke, and barely surviving off the daily black magic done on us. So while we're healing all of humanity, and while my blogs and my contents bring out world healing issues, all of the elite harvesters, they're taking everything that we're doing, and we're left for dead and for nothing. And that was very purposeful. Those are their agendas, those are their intentions. So those things have to be seen. The Epstein agendas have to be seen. And then it's brought into trafficking rings where, again, the elites use and pay for whatever they can for their own benevolent gain while everybody else sits in poverty. These things are seen all over the place. It's seen every fucking day. So my story was a part of remembering that soul fragment healing. As you remember it, which we're going to talk about in our next video, to talk about the DNA in the brain. When you're going into those soul fragment healings, it's not fun. Those very deep, I mean, it was very painful to relive that experience. Very painful because I love my celestial family so much, because I feel like I have family here on this planet. So there was a lot of issues I had to heal in that one release, and it wasn't fun. That's why beings like myself have to come forward with such expertise and with such, I'm a soul expert on soul fragment healing. There's very few of us on the planet that have the interfacing that I do. So I work very seriously, and I take it with great honor of who I am, and I speak about it in all the great honorable ways that I do, very humble about my gifts and my skills. To have that, and if I wasn't one of the ones to speak on those experiences, we're not the discriminations in our collective about empaths, about psychics, about light workers, about seers, about sensitive beings, about high functioning beings, about those that operate realm of understanding. So how is it that just because we operate a vibrational way of understanding and being, just because we prefer to be with nature, and just because we prefer to talk about high vibrational things, that gives us less of a voice and to talk about our soul's experience? We're here to help humanity evolve. So the option is Earth and everybody gets trafficked by elites, or we evolve into light. And I have healing systems to do so. The common sense is there. But there were contracts that were broken, and celestials and aliens were used, and their DNA was taken. And there were certain programs, and I was in that program. And in my soul fragment healing, being on that lab table, and my DNA was being taken, and my spirit went back to Arcturus, because that's where my soul family was, and I was sent from there to assist humanity. And the DNA, this is what God wanted to show me, because the healers, it talks about this. I'm the only healer on the planet that does what I do. In that fragment healing, this is what I teach my clients. When I integrated that soul fragment, I healed that timeline, which was done in the 50s, and I healed this timeline. That DNA started to speak through. DNA got activated, and it lights up just like the light here. That spark gets put on that DNA that was down. So all of those Arcturian gifts are now open to me. Because I've earned that healing, I forgave everybody. I forgave the people that took the DNA out of me in the celestial. That was me in the celestial body. My DNA was in there. Because it's my DNA now. And so all of the beings that think they're hiding their secret documents and their secret files about who I am, I already know. I've already done the work. That's why I said to God this morning, I said, it doesn't, like, anybody coming forward to me doesn't matter. I've done the work. Anybody's apology to me doesn't matter. I've done the work. I've done the transmuting. I've carried the fucking heavy load. I've carried an entire collective on my back, and I've transmuted their density. There's very few people on the planet that have ever been here that have done the transmuting and the knowledge and the wisdoms that I've brought forward and that I have done. It said I am a phenomenon. Nobody has done what I've done. That's not ego. That's my alignment with the Christ. It has nothing to do with religion. I know who I am. I am the daughter of God. And God has a mission for me, and a plan, and a destiny, and a blueprint. And I'm going to keep teaching. I'm going to keep speaking. I'm going to keep in everybody, no matter where you sit, no matter what you're remembering about your soul lifetimes. My dear beloved humans, integrate. Because what happens when you integrate is you're going to have all that DNA turn on, and you're going to get that gifts from that DNA. You're going to get the gifts from that timeline. You're going to get the gifts from being wherever that person was when they were brought down. That's why healing is so important. You can't become a soul-infused being and the fragments just sit there. No, if you have integrated a death where you were dropped here for the benevolency of the collective and your body was taken, DNA was taken, you're going to get that fragment back. I've done my work. I've carried the love. I've given thousands and millions of people healing that I haven't got credit for. People are using my work and my ideas left, right, and center. Nobody gives me an ounce of credit. Not one person. Where are the morals and the ethics? People do not care about the connected spirit and their soul. They just don't care. All they care about is getting the clout. What is clout? Clout is that self-importance and self-value. And I've been teaching everybody. Anything on the outer is nothing if you're not inner. And if you have no above, have no below. And that's why everybody's disconnected. That's why we see what happened out in the collective. Because there's just zero connection. They'd rather have clout and all the numbers and all the status and all. That doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit if you're doing nothing with it. It doesn't mean shit if you don't care about who you are as a spirit and what you're doing with your spirit. It doesn't mean shit. Your numbers, your money, your clout, your ranking, it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit if you're taking innocent people out or you're suppressing a divine fund that was meant to be in front of billions years ago. You're not ranked on any level. That's the opposite of ranking. That's the lowest of the lowest, and you'll stay in the lowest of the lowest. That you will never move forward because you're not honoring life on any level. When you heal those soul fragments that you didn't think you could heal, you're going to all of those gifts that are held in that DNA. Everything held in that DNA, it will be a light. God will pierce that light on whatever density that was in that DNA, and that DNA turns on. And what the medical doctrine has said is junk DNA. It's not junk DNA. It's just waiting to be turned on, and it can't get turned on unless you bring light to it. Yeah, you bring light to all your stories. How do you bring light to it? By sharing and expressing your souls. That's why nobody has the right to silence me, because my soul's experiences are teaching the collective. Get up and bring light to your DNA, to get up and bring light to your world, to get up and activate who you are, because there's gifts in that DNA. I wasn't able to see that time until I healed that soul fragment of being left and betrayed by what I thought was my celestial family. Watch me have my DNA extracted from my celestial body that I loved so very much. How many star seeds and celestials don't feel comfortable in their body? How many days do I tell spirit, I don't feel comfortable in my body. I don't fit in my body. So I work with different ways that I'm teaching humanity how to sculpt their bodies around their soul. That's going to be my next healing experience. Instead of plastic surgery and cosmetic surgery, we're going to sculpt our bodies with consciousness because we have a right to. And every time I get my DNA, everything about me changes. And that's why people see so much difference in me. My aura changes, my DNA changes, my fields change, my chemistry change. It's because I'm showing people. Consciousness is everything. Turn the light on. So as I sat on that table in the MK Ultra room, on the little lab table, and they were taking my out of my beautiful blue body. Putting my earring back on. I cried. I cried horribly. And I healed. I went through the dark night of the soul. And my 3 Arcturians were standing around me, and their long fingers, they had little on the end of their fingers. Three blue long fingers and little bulbs on the end of them. And they stood up, Sacred Trinity, and they sent healing to me. And they just kept telling me they loved me as I was releasing the timeline damage of being dropped on a planet where they didn't want me except to use me. They didn't want me except to silence me and take my DNA and take my gifts and take my information and take my wisdom and take my teachings and call it theirs. The harvesting and the raping that has been done to sacred souls has been unconscionable. And people don't think twice about it because they're not connected. They have no connection with spirit. And I teach you how to be connected. Essence is a real thing. Spirit is a real thing. Activating your DNA is a very real fucking thing. You understand quantum energy, you understand conscience, you understand God. And we are changing science with our consciousness. Make no mistake about that, it'll be proven. Our DNA is not junk, it's just turned off because you're choosing not to connect with spirit. And when you have those timelines and you heal them with such profundity to say, you used me and you harvested off of me. You made a lot of money on me and I sat homeless and not eating for 12 days, 14 days at a time. I forgive you. You don't need to come forward. I don't need to hear from you. I don't need your confession. I don't need it. I already did the heavy lifting. I did the transmuting. I did the heavy lifting. I did my dark nights of the soul. I'm now working on to 1,000 lifetimes and I'm going to keep working on it. I'm going to keep integrating. I'm going to keep being because my soul has given hope to those that didn't think there was a way out of their darkness and the subjugations and the rapes that they were put through. And it is, and you are. I bring hope to people and I can heal billions. Isn't that enough? You're my celestial brother, Scotty, and I love you. I will never stop inspiring you to get out there. Your voice is needed in the collective. Celestial, we're here to be hybrid. We're here to be indigos and star seeds, whatever you want to call yourself, and the high functioning ones that are so misunderstood and placed in dumbed down boxes because nobody else wants to deal with us. Because we just know more and we can run circles around anybody they put before us. And then they call us insane or stupid because they want to take our money and our ideas and make it theirs. And I'm going to say this one last time, dear lighted ones. If you think that doing any of those egregious things and taking and raping from others and taking when it's not given, if you think any of that any sort of ranking, you'll be sorely, sadly mistaken, because you will all face karma and judge. Universal laws will trump every one of your little beliefs. False clout is not clout. It's wounding. And you're all forgiven. So just know, dear lighted ones, your healing is so very important, and it will open up gifts to you that are unimaginable, and it will place you on that timeline and on that place and in that heart-centered moment when you say, okay, Spirit, I'm going to surrender to you because you're the one guiding me. My ego does not know. I surrender to my higher self. I surrender to Mother, Father, God. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I got a soul blueprint and I'm on a mission. When you just have to express, you just have to share, you just have to experience, you just have to explore yourself in new ways, you have to explore the planet in new ways, you have to explore nature in new ways, you have to explore what being a celestial is in new ways, because your celestial DNA is being activated every day. Your being alien DNA is being activated every day. And when you come before me, your celestial DNA, your celestial fields, the downloads in your fields, your ideas, your inspirations, what you did in your dream time last night, what you did on light ships last night, it's all being activated. Activated. Light workers are just talking about it. So white workers suppressed and silenced and sabotaged and stalked. How come? Because we know more than the leader. Oh, we're trying to help you. All you had to do was offer us into your office and say, how can we work together within a corrupt agenda to take DNA and to take our ideas and make it yours? Again, there's no heart-space connection. There's just taking and raping and harvesting and greed. No account. So then that's where you're going to stay. You chose that. You chose zero accountability. You chose zero ethics. You chose zero morals. You chose to target a divine feminine, one divine feminine against 50 plus people. Are you kidding me? And you think you're ranked. What kind of ranking is that? The devil's ranking? Satan's ranking? What does that give you? Okay, so you're really big in Satan's world. Okay, and what next? You're not going to come into another body. You didn't earn it. The timeline, now what? Okay, so you go around in your little dark Epstein circle, now what? I can go on forever like this, dear lighted ones. I'm teaching you a lesson. We can go around in circles forever of your wounding. Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? You keep doing your black magic. Now what? You keep doing your what? You keep doing this and you keep doing that. Now what? You keep being not accountable. You keep denying your lies. You keep denying your truths. You keep denying. You keep blaming it on your little black minions. What is that going to get you? It's going to get you back into your Epstein earth. And so what? Now we're at the same place. You're going to the same place, dear lighted ones. Why? Because I'm showing you the cycles of karma. I'm showing you the cycles of darkness. I'm cycles of being ignorant. I'm showing the cycles of being arrogant. None have power over any, period. You're going to keep running on those little cycles, and where is it going to end you? You're going to stay in the lower realms because you have consciousness of light. Your consciousness of light is unity consciousness. I am one with the all is one. I am a dodecahedron. I am quantum metatronic light, period, point blank. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Any issue on the planet, put it on the table and let's work it out. Any leader that wants to be a great leader, purity of their heart, and God's given them the redemption right now. Any leader that wants to be a great leader, you bring me to your office and we put any one of your problems on the table and I will work it out in less than an hour. But you stalk me and you put me on watch lists and you put me on spy lists and you put me on this and you put me on that and you pay people to take me out. So how's that going to serve you? You're just going around in your little dark circle. You're still going to hold out because the light's going to bathe every day. It's not me. It's going to be another whistleblower. So what is that going to lead you? Same dark circle, same dark corruption, same broken systems, same outbursts in your collapse, same children being harmed. What's that going to lead you? And your leaders of the countries. So what's that going to lead you? Still same dark ass experience. And now what? Been saying the same thing for 17 years. Now what? Now you're going to choose to change and add to your life? Now what? You're just going to find more people to sacrifice? Now what? Okay, so now find more people to do your rituals. Now what? Now people are waking up and people are getting smarter. They're not going to be a part of your cult or club. They don't want to do rituals anymore. Why? Because their life's going to hell. They got diseases and their kids are being affected and everything's falling apart. Why? Universal laws trumps everything, dear lighted ones. How many times we got to say that? I don't get how much money you got or what your clout is. Your money don't mean nothing in the spiritual realms. What matters is what you are as a soul and what you are as a spirit, period, point blank. And if you're disconnected and if you don't care, then that's where you will stay. You chose that. You chose your purgatory. I've been walking people to the water. I've been walking people to the heavens. Because that's what good healers do. I haven't made a penny off anything of that I've done, but people have made a ton of money off of me. How's that okay? You're all forgiven. All debts are cleared. Everything's forgiven, 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 forgiven. You don't need to come to me. I don't want your fucking confession. You're forgiven. I've done the heavy lifting. I've done the transmuting. Transmuted the DNA swapping. I've transmuted all the bullshit. I've transmuted it. Don't give a fuck. You got to go in and you got to heal. Why you ever thought anything like that would be okay? Why hurting a divine feminine, 50 people or more? Why any of that would be okay? That's your whole story. You got to sit with that. That's your story? I helped gang up against one divine feminine healer that is ranked equally with Jesus. That's my story. You must be so proud. You suppressed a billion dollar company, suppressed a divine feminine, one divine feminine that's already suppressed in the world, that's already been sabotaged the day she was born. You're sabotaging from a $1 billion company, taking money from elites, a $1 billion company is sabotaging a divine feminine that's made less than poverty and sleeps in her car and doesn't eat for 14 fucking days at a time. You're telling me that's your story that you gotta feel so proud about at the end of the night. Good for you. You're forgiven. Great job. You must be so proud of yourself for bullying a divine feminine that did nothing but heal the people and lift little insects to safety. Because that's what I do when I'm walking about. If I see a worm struggling to get back to the soil, I'll lift that worm up and I'll put him back in the soil. I cannot count how many worms I put back in the soil. Well, I know the worms help the soil and I'll help your food down the road. I know that worms matter. Think it's silly. I don't kill insects. Insects are only around me because they want to be near me. I don't have infestations. Why? Because I'm light. I love all life. Infestations, darkness, and the entities that you carry with you. Because you're choosing to have it in your space. I help worms back to soil because it matters. Every insect matters. That's the weight I carry on my soul. It's important to me. That's ranking. God sees that. God sees when I say prayers to the waters. Why? Because Christ consciousness is everything. Metatronic light is everything. Waters need it. Because we've done so much polluting. So don't we all know that? Don't we know that? We don't. Or do you walk with that? Do you walk with that in your heart, dear lighted ones? And when you're doing your forgiveness today, can you forgive yourself for the times that you did not stop and help animals when they needed the help? Can you forgive yourself for the times that you did not stop and help somebody and a human or share their videos? You know their videos could help somebody. Can you forgive yourself and maybe send feedback to those accounts that need feedback on? Can you help someone out when they need help? That's unity consciousness. Why? Because it's going to come back to you. Why? That there's going to be so many blessings for me. God's opening the gates of my blessings. Why do you think? Because I gave for so very long and 900 some odd lifetimes I didn't get nothing. And any person on this planet that says I don't deserve, they're the most ignorant and the most arrogant. They don't know my soul. I've helped heal people that have harmed me solely. I've healed people that some considered never healable. I change worlds and I change platforms. And I'm speaking truth through this YouTube platform that has been so egregious against me. They will be redeemed, and they will come forward with a make-right offer. And only in the purity of their heart will they be lifted. If it is a pure intent, to be accountable for the silencing of my channel and everybody involved. Other than that, there will be no more considerations, and the consequences will be grave. And that was from the councils of light that speak on behalf of in all spiritual courts of what happens in the physical realm. And why things are up on all levels of leadership, and we see it every day. The spiritual court spoken, And those that have not been of the highest of integrity and honoring universal laws and the basic human rights, they will all be shaken, and it must. Take that up, then take it up with Source Creator God that you have had no connection with. Because the spiritual courts have spoken. Our evolution to light and being light will not be stopped, and it will not be further suppressed. This planet has the right to be light. Every human on this planet has the right to know about their celestial DNA and activate it. Every person on this planet deserves to be liberated to walk safely, to speak of their soul's experience, regardless of what they are defined and challenged as. Your soul matters and you are important, and I beg of you to get up. Forgive what you can forgive. Send your family blessings, even though they choose to hate you. Send those blessings that need your forgiveness. Forgive all debt owed to you. And Source will make sure it's paid back tenfold, just because you chose to do the right thing. This is walking in good ones. That's ranking. Doing your little underground secret society shit is not ranking. It's corruption. Zero connection with spirit. That's greed, jealousy, and envy, and no sense of self, and no sense of self-worth. If you have a sense of self-worth, you would never take without it being given. And you would never harm another when they've been shown to you to be the equal of the Christ. Everyone has been shown who I am. They've been shown in their dreams, they've been shown in their homes, and they've been shown in the karma unfolding every day. What more does God need to do? Everyone is forgiven in the message of today. The past is the past, and it will sit where it sits. I forgive all of you. I forgive all damages ever done. I've carried the load. I'm healing PTSD of the constant and relentless black magic and voodoo and sacrificing and mind scraping. I've all forgiven you. I have forgiven past timelines of alien extraction of the DNA from my old alien bodies and placed within the human bodies in this lifetime and lied and dreams and denials on all parts. Because I don't need your stories to be healed. I don't need your secret files or your truths. Because I've done the heavy lifting. And this is where being a higher intelligent being and being connected with Source Creator, you don't need anyone outside of you. Protect my chakras, please, Holy Spirit, and send their energy back. I didn't need any person of any elite status to come to me and say, I know the truth about you. Here you go. Here's the papers and documents. I did the heavy lifting. I did it all on my own. I activated my own DNA in doing that healing. And that's what I show you. I show you heal. I show you that even if people are keeping truth from you and suppressing the truth from you and suppressing monies from you, you can do the healing anyway, and you can activate your DNA, and there will be light brought. And in every one of your gifts, you're going to be activated tenfold. The gifts are going to bring you what is, again, your mission and your destiny and your purpose. There's a reason why I went through everything. Every day I let go of the judgment about challenging and how incredibly overkill the trauma was. Didn't have to be such overkill, the Hunger Games. Didn't have to be like that. But people were having so much fun abusing me. People were having so much fun suppressing me and make themselves feel powerful, and they were handlers. Nobody handles me. I'm owned by none. I will never be owned. Ever. Anybody passing my name on a piece of paper to any other cult or in any way, they have no idea who I am, and they will get karma times 100. Everything has been spoken. These are the new laws. These are the new rules. Universal karma is. Universal laws are. It doesn't matter what your low vibrational beliefs are. It's time to grow up. Your DNA will activate, and you will remember everything in those lifetimes that DNA is connected to. Because my DNA is celestial, I had to remember, I had to integrate, and I had to transmute energy from that timeline. I did the heavy lifting. It doesn't matter a government giving me their secret files back and say your real name, here's your real birth date. I don't give a fuck. I already did the heavy lifting. Your fake ass apology right now doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything to me. I already heavy lifting. I already went through the trauma. I already went through the abuse. I already survived 14 days of not eating and all of my credit and all of my life being sabotaged on every level. Now I have a huge thing I have to fix. People using my name and my image on videos. I'm not getting paid for any of it. They have no permission to use my image or my name on any videos. Any image or any name of me in the underground, nobody had an ounce of permission, and everybody was getting karma times 100. Make no mistake about that. Nobody had an ounce of right, ever. I don't know these people. I don't talk to these people. These people don't know me from Adam. And yet they just chose, because I'm spiritually ranked, to use and abuse me for my name, pass it back and forth. It's called RICO crimes. It's actually illegal. And so everybody will get their karma. You're forgiven. I don't need your fucking confession. You're all forgiven. I transmuted the pain. I transmuted the damages. I transmuted the people throwing me away every second. And the reason why anybody wants back is because they know God's going to lift me anyways. And my gifts will bring forward my own abundance. It's my gifts. I'm self-made. Nobody can claim an ounce on me and my soul. And that was God's. I've been doing everything I've been doing since the day I was born. God made it very purposeful that nobody could claim an ounce of who I am and who I became. God made very sure that people were moved out of my way. There are people eternally blocked from my spirit and my soul, period, because of the abuses. And God made very sure that I will stand only all by myself. I am self-made. I am self-healed. I'm self-regulated, designed. Nobody speaks for me ever. Nobody ever spoke for me ever. I've only signed things for documents in a legal contract for divorce, period. I have signed nothing else. Nobody has ever had my permission on any level of my life. I would never, ever give such. As a humanitarian, as a person that speaks out against humanitarian abuses, that is ridiculous. Again, people that are liars, people that are pathological sociopaths, this is how they do what they do. They manipulate through dark energy. They use magic and manipulation and deceits and all the things that they do to make sure that their crimes are never going to be accountable. That's what needs to be healed on the planet, the disconnection. Why would you ever do such innocent healer? Because it's your wounding. It's not mine. I already carried my weight. I already transmuted my karma. I don't owe anybody. I owe nobody. I owe nothing to anybody. I would leave this planet. I would be ecstatic about what I've done for creation. I would leave a happy soul. I always say, my God, look what I did. I'm so happy that I healed so many people. I got up no matter what, and no matter what Goliath magnitude of a mountain was before up. I'd be so happy. I would say, this is my name and my story will be known through all time. God will be sure of it. God will make sure that my story will be known through all ages and all timelines. Because that's God's will. Because I spoke for the truth and the purity of intention, sense of life, and the sacredness of life. I haven't been stopping speaking of it. Go back to my earliest video. The same message. I haven't been changed by anything. And if one day there is a great, great abundance that befalls me because I know who I am, lineage, I know my heritage, and there's monies that are waiting to come to me, it still will not change anything. It will mean I get to help humanity even more. Because for some reason on this planet, money speaks. And for some reason on this planet, money speaks. Doesn't matter how special you might be. People don't see that. They only want to know you when you make it, or when you're famous, or when you're important. And then, boy, they come crawling back and now they want to have a confession. No, I don't need it. Everybody from the past will remain in the past. The doors have been closed. Timelines. None from the past will ever create another timeline with me, ever. Soul contracts are done. Soul contracts are severed. It's done. Everybody's forgiven. It's all done. I don't even think about it anymore. I had to come on today to create a special message for the collective. Forgiveness is very profound, and forgiveness is your spiritual abundance. Compassion is your spiritual abundance. Caring for others is your spiritual abundance. Right thing and bringing truth every day and every way that it's called, that is spiritual abundance. That's spiritual ranking. And anyone that tells you it isn't, absolutely run the other way. That is what spiritual ranking is. And that's why I am, since I've been here, unblemished. I'm known by the heavens. I'm known throughout all creation. I don't need anything here on earth to make me feel special. That's my ranking. And those that are wounded are triggered. That's not my fault. Go heal. I get my right to be who I am. I get my right to talk about my soul's experience. I'm going to keep talking about it because it's healing many star seeds on this planet. To be taken from, we don't deserve to be harvested. We don't deserve to be used, abused, and raped and trafficked for elites that have no care about the world and their agendas. And it's obvious, it's blatant. As manipulate and keep power and greed, that's what they do. Again, the ideology and the arrogance and the ignorance for $1 billion company to suppress and silence one light worker, subscribers under 2,000, and it's been that way for over 8 years. A divine feminine that was already earning less than poverty wages, and that was already suppressed, that was already being gang stalked by secret societies. Spiritual courts have spoken. It's going to be shaken up, and nobody has any power over it. It's God. God's hand is plucking it all. And why? I don't care. I did the heavy lifting. I activated my DNA. I do the work. I owe none. I am a free creative consultant. I am hired on basis of being a creative consultant. I am hired on being a basis of a creative healer that is aligned with Christ consciousness, that is aligned with Metatronic light, that will activate your DNA if you so wish, and if you so choose to put your own purity of intent into it. That's where people hire me, and that's where people allow me to be a healer and a guide for them. Because within a couple of years, you can be fully self-designed, self-directed, and every day and every day and every day you reclaim your light. And that light is your sovereignty, and that light is your ranking. Period. Anybody that tells you anything different is absolutely wrong. That is the only ranking. I speak truth, and my truth will change the field. My truth right now, they're showing me within 2 days. What I've spoken today, within 2 days will be shown in the collective. That's my voice. I'm not going to be used. Why I've had to go through the intense psychological fuck shit that I went through, so that I couldn't be manipulated by those wanting me for their secret agendas, for those wanting to buy me and trade me. Well, if your voice creates all that, why don't you come and speak for our nuclear weapons program? Why don't you speak for our weaponry program? Yeah, no. You could offer me $8 trillion fucking dollars and I would still say no. I will never be bought and sold. I am that I am. I affect the verse, and it's important for me to walk as I walk and speak as I speak, period. Why do you think I had to go through so many mind fucks? I still came out being me. You can't take who I am. You cannot change my Christ consciousness. It's just going to get more and more Christ consciousness. You're not going to take what I know. You're not going to take all of my DNA soul activations. Once that DNA is activated, it stays activated, period. What do you think trafficking is? The person on the line. What do you think trafficking is? It's the buying and selling of someone's freedom and their body and their rights. What do you think trafficking is? It's $1 billion. Go do research. And then perhaps you get involved in the trafficking and helping stop it. Silence. That's truth. That's what truth does. Truth brings silence. Why? Because you need to hear it. Are you involved in helping stop trafficking? You're not. So your comment is superfluous. I'm calling you out. God says call you out. I'm calling you out. On our planet, yes or no? Are there secret societies that do systematic abuse in every city, yes or no? Are there paid officials to sabotage the innocent, yes or no? So your comment about freedom is not being bought and sold. Lewis, I'm calling you out. Get involved in your community. Bring truth. Bring light. Bring help. Silence. That's what truth brings, because it needs to be silent. Humble yourself. My speech is. We pray for peace all over the world. Peace is the only way. Truth is the only way. Light is the only way, period. And you can choose not to be that. You can choose out of your full heart's extent to continue being low vibrational and dark and refusing to see the things that go on and the things that are done and the things that are acted upon. Our planet is getting more and more light every day. Thank God, hallelujah for that. Higher people like myself are being lifted. Thank God for that. There's higher intelligent light wisdoms. Thank God for that. There's higher beings that are coming forward and say, I've healed from the darkest of the darkest. I can help you. Thank God for that. Thank God that the voices of the light are finally being heard. Thank God for that. Go back to any of the channelers that I talk about all the time. Daryl Anka, Lee Carroll. Lee Carroll talks a lot about quantum God, talks about the fields. Greg Braden talks about the omnipresent field, talks about the consciousness, talks about consciousness, how it interacts with the cells, talks about consciousness, how it interacts with the DNA. Consciousness is everything. It's on all over the Gaia channel. Go investigate, go do the work. Anybody that comes forward with any of their comments about me or on me, you're triggered because I'm triggering you. Go do your research before you put comment in my comment field. Go do your research. Go to all the other channels and look at all the other channels and see what they say. They talk about the quantumness of all creation. They talk about the quantumness of God. They talk about the quantumness of all these things. And that's what it's saying. God is God. Creation is creation. Universal laws are universal laws. We must grow up. We're getting out of kindergarten now, and now we're going into high school. And high school is universal laws. We're aligning with galactic. Because we are galactic, our celestial and alien DNA is being activated every day. Our celestial DNA is being activated. How can we go to the universal experience of 5D creation when we're traveling into all these dimensions? How can we go into a higher dimension when we're still in subjugation and discrimination and taking people out because they speak about God in different ways? How about that? How can we go into higher dimensions if we're saying that trafficking is not a thing? No, it is a thing. So what are you going to do to help it? What are you going to do to help the trafficking situation? What are you going to do? What are you going to do about societies in your communities? What are you going to do? If I'm being called to silence somebody, I'm going to silence somebody. Because that's my authority. I stand in the truth of who I am, and I've spent 55 years being silenced. So now it's time to get up. Now it's time to get up. It's time to bring forgiveness. It's time to bring change. It is time to step forward on who we are as true divine beings of Metatronic light. And that is our intention. That's our destiny. That's our destiny. That's our density. That's our destiny. Our destiny is to be higher than we were the minute before. Our destiny is to be absolutely seen on our life's experience. Our life's experience. This has been my life experience. I get to speak on it. I'm not responsible for how other people get triggered. They're triggered because they're sitting in wounding. So heal the wounding. I show you how to heal. No person on this planet deserves to be silenced. No person deserves to be. Everything on our planet is healable. Trafficking is healable. The situations on our planet in violence and raping of the children and the women, that's all healable. There should be no wars on our planet, ever. We have such high intelligence on this planet, but it's not being used. Higher vibrational light wisdoms, that's what needs to be. Higher vibrational light wisdoms, that is the answer. Because we're moving into 5D space, and 5D space, it's higher consciousness. It's higher light. The light needs to be there. So if the light isn't there, how are you going to move into higher consciousness with low dark vibrational, same patterns, same senses? No, we actually need to be higher light. There will be people that will choose not to be. They will stay on the lower realms. And that's their choice. That's their free will. So forgive them. Forgive everybody. Forgive everybody for everything. Keep moving every day and forgive in the alignment of your heart. I'll read a little channel that the Galactic Federations came in. The Councils of Light said, so just take a deep breath and align with your heart space. Fatima, I know that you come forward all the time with your presence of modesty and benevolence. So thank you. I've seen you on my channel, and I do feel your energy. So just clear your heart space, clear your chakras, just call in the vibrational light of the divine feminine, the divine masculine of mother and the father, and bathe your fields with divine holy light. I'm bathed with white light, I'm bathed with white light. Call all your soul fragments. I call in all of my soul fragments. I call in all my soul fragments. And I ground. You want to call all the things that are back to you. I want to call all my light. I want to call all my energy. All that is me back to me. All that is back to me. All that is back to me. All that is back to me. So that way, if you have anybody in your house or your home or in your community that is taking light from you or energy from you, just call it back. I call all my energy back. I call all of my light and wisdoms back. Nobody has the right to take your light or your energy. Nobody has the right to do voodoo on your home. Nobody has the right to do voodoo on your children. Reclaim sovereignty for the light of the children to return back to the children. So if you're in those situations where you're in a home and people are doing energy work on your children, I do prayers all throughout my day for the light to go back to the children and for their chakras and their auras to be sealed. And nothing breaks that seal. So do the protection prayers for the children that homes with dark magic, because it does help. It does help. It protects them. Nothing will break that protection because the light is, right? They have their destiny. Their soul's destiny has their equal right. Nobody has a right to take their children's destiny away from them because people want to live in selfish arrogance. Everybody's being forgiven. The shifts are going, right? The spiritual cord has already spoken. I'm just saying what's going to be unfolding. So there is cosmic and galactic alliances that are now being born to help in the new galactic order and the forward in every evolutionary light program. Again, this is throughout the multiverse because the galactics help other multiverse, right? And this is what I'm here. I'm here to be that activation of higher vibrational, higher dimensional, interdimensional, celestial, and alien experiences within the DNA of everything. Everybody on Earth has celestial and alien DNA. Everybody. It has celestial DNA. Some are more activated in their celestial DNA, like myself, because I've come at a higher activation. I have a scar on my heart right here. I have a scar on my heart that was, the Pleiadians had to adjust, it was about 5. And the Pleiadians came and I went about our light ship and they adjusted my heart chakra. They adjusted a whole bunch of things because I was just too sensitive. I was taking on much trauma because I was in a dysfunctional home. You know, and it was a lot of damage done to my heart chakra. So they came to adjust it, and I always kept this scar because it helped activate me later on. When I did awaken after the birth of my second child, after I did awaken, that's when all of the memories came back because I was activating and integrating those experiences, right? So we have a lot of experiences from our childhood that does relate to our celestial and cosmic experiences, and that is those are like when you have on your body, I have lots of imprints and tattoos and stuff that when I wake up in the morning, I'll just see things on my arm that know that I'm, in light ships doing things. Sometimes the more harsher shifts of energy, like this one, some of the more harsher shifts of energy do leave scars because of the, and sometimes that happens with women too when they give birth to a high vibrational kid. The shifts in energy between experiencing to the birthing of the child's light consciousness, that does leave scars. And sometimes why women do have scars and trauma after they give birth, because the energy between the two energies of the consciousnesses are just so in flux. And so there's a lot of reasons why we have our celestial scars and our celestial things that we carry. It's to also remind us and wake us up. Oh yeah, I remember that. So I can heal that. I can put that on the table. I can work that out. So those are just things but they were just showing me that there's lots of galactic and cosmic things that are going on so that you can, again, heal any discrimination, any separation, any issues that you have, again, with judgments, right? So they're just saying that goes with social and political, a lot of discrimination, left and right, Democrat, Republican, I don't even know names of them are. I don't pay any attention to politics. So low vibration. They're the basis of separation because they all fight for their own party, and it's not a unity of humanity. So that's changing. Those discriminations have to be faced. And that's why a lot of what you see unfold in the world leadership over the next 6 to 8 months, they're saying, a lot of it will be that. Humanity, us selves, this is why the celestials won't come in and interfere, because it's very important we get there on our own. It's really important to our evolution we get there on our own. Humanity will see that what has been happening in politics, just pitting each other against each other, is just a circle that goes nowhere, right? It's just the same karmic dark cycle. It has to be seen as a humanity party, where we all work together as one. Everybody's perspective is unified in the benevolence for humanity, for the betterment of humanity, for the betterment of our planet, for the betterment of clean water to drink down the road. So all of those things will come forward to be seen and known as. That will be a huge awakening for humanity. Politics and leadership has absolutely been contributing to discrimination and separation. Right? How and why would a political party fight against each other when we can be working together as a one human family? Shouldn't that be the priority? I mean, they're very basic, so why aren't we doing them? So new laws need to be made around that align universal laws, alignment with the higher light systems, alignment with the galactic federations, alignment with the councils of light, and then we operate as a unit of one. We operate from a foundation strong. We operate from a foundation that is unified. We operate from a foundation that is based in alignment of the highest divine order and ethics. But it's not order and ethics. It's just all fighting against each other and who's doing what and who's doing what and who's ticking somebody off. And I mean, it's all really old school discrimination. It's adding to the conflict on the planet. So there's going to be cosmic alliances are being born right now to help with the new galactic order in movement forward of evolutionary light. Consistent operating in your heart space is key. Believe in love ruling the day. So walk through your day and say, no, I believe in love. I believe in love is going to get me through this. Love is going to help me understand. I can do the heavy carrying. I can do the heavy to be blessed down the road. It doesn't matter how it looks. And yes, some of us get agitated when people come on the line and their comments trigger me to stand more in my power, to stand more in my truth. And if spirit says somebody needs to, then I need to be able to take that authority, because we need to speak out on behalf of those that aren't speaking out. We need to speak out on behalf of those that don't have a voice. Freedoms are being challenged with every day. That's been the whole program of the Matrix, right? Where's your energy going? Who's got your energy? Right? So awareness to it and standing up for what you know is right and true. I have my soul's experience and nothing will take away from it. I know what I know, right? And those that, again, those that want to go through life in a higher vibrational enlightened way, go on Gaia, the Gaia channel, go watch any of the other channelers. They're all talking about quantum source, quantum God, who we are as quantum beings, who we are as Metatronic light, how our light bodies get activated, how our DNA gets activated, how we have an Akash, how it's a very sacred system, how God's speaking through everything, God speaks through all life. It is all about the same things I've been talking about for 17 years and all my other lifetimes. There have been very specific agendas to silence me, take me out. And so that is a truth. It has to be faced and it has to be overcome. I've overcome it. I've done the heavy lifting. Everyone's forgiven. And I'm moving on with what needs to be spoken for the collective so that we can raise our consciousness. Light intelligence is the way to raise our consciousness. That is the only way. Light consciousness will heal everything that is dark. The shadow of humanity has to be faced. And the shadow of humanity is wounding, corruption, black web underground. It has been corrupt on our spirit. It has been corrupt on our souls. It has been corrupt on the soul dynamic. It has been corrupt. It has been the selling and the trading of people's rights, their freedoms, their liberations to who they are as spirit. It has been the corruption of who we are as liberated beings. I have my right to ascend and to create every day, and I will. I'll create new businesses. I'll create new brands. I'll create new dynamics. I'm going to keep creating. Nothing will stop me. I am lit up. I am going to keep going. And I make something from nothing. That's who I am. I want to inspire everybody. It doesn't matter how little you think you have, you can create something from nothing. That is Christ consciousness. That is your ownership and your absolute birthright as light. And spirit will absolutely bless equal measure, equal measure, equal measure. That's been my same message for 17 years. You will always be met with equal measure. So anything this is another good thing for the new year. So you make out your 2025 goals and for the new year. What are 3 things that you can get involved with that you're really inspired to get involved with? Whether that's higher light teachings, whether that's helping shift dynamics of leadership of the collective. That's helping homelessness. Homelessness is a huge issue on the planet. Poverty and food, helping get clean water in communities that don't have clean water. All of these things are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things that will help the light manifest in the body, in your mind, your heart, body, and soul. And it also assists with you lining with your higher timelines, because that is unity consciousness, all the things that I just mentioned. It is unity consciousness when you choose to take the powerful topics and bring them forward for healing. It is powerful when you take the things that need to be talked about, suppression of divine feminine, opportunities for high functioning empaths and psychic people where we're not suppressed and we have to hide ourselves. We have to bring all of these things forward for higher vibrational offerings, teachings, and healings. Again, the only way forward is light intelligence. If we are not in light intelligence, we're running in lower, darker circles of the same karmic mess. Why would that make sense? That's not evolutionary, is it? If we're going in the same karmic circle. As I said earlier, any leader on the planet that wants to have me in for any type of consultation, put any of the issues on the table and I will help you resolve it. There is always a higher way to resolve any issue. The violence is unnecessary. Nuclear war is unnecessary. Damaging of our waters are unnecessary. Suppression of anybody is unnecessary. Everybody is required on this planet to express who they are, to heal their soul. If I didn't express who I was, I wouldn't let somebody know that they're going to be walking into a DNA activation where they get to remember that lifetime where they were taken from or betrayed or used as an experiment, and they get to integrate that soul fragment and they get the light from it in their DNA activation. I need to express my soul's experience. It's very, very important to healing. I'm healing thousands of lines of lineages by talking about my soul's experience in a truthful, loving, and honorable way that will affect the all. That is everybody's birthright. That is a human right. And reality is higher vibrational. I see, I hear, I know, I'm tuned in, I'm aligned, I am one with spirit. Just because my vibration is higher than others doesn't make my reality wrong. It just makes everybody else sitting in a different reality because your vibration is different. Your consciousness, it's not wrong. It's just saying, this is my reality. I get to talk about it. Why do you get to talk about your reality, but I can't talk about mine? Where's my liberation? Where's my free will? Where's my right? It's been blatant. Go back and do a history look on my channel. Go back and do a history look and mark down when I upload a video from the time it leaves, from when I click off live stream to the time it gets to my playlist. There's 150 views that are going somewhere else. Where are they going? YouTube corruption. If you want to clear your name, answer those questions. If YouTube doesn't want to be held liable, where are the views going? It's blatant. I show the screenshots. And then as I'm watching it for the next 48 hours, views are being taken off. Where are they going? How is YouTube getting away with it? They're $1 billion company. Don't they have a due process? If there's certain accounts that are going down, if there's certain accounts that are never being grown, even though they're doing 4 hours of promotion, even though they're sending feedback every week, even though they're sending screenshots, isn't there a due process? Isn't there due diligence? Where's the human rights? My freedom of rights of expression. So everybody gets to abuse technology, abuses of power, abuses of technology, abuses of privacy laws, abuses of human rights laws, abuses of discrimination and leadership. Everything's been discriminated, but I don't have my right to talk about it. Same as Tupac said. If they create poverty, and this is how most of the Black people on the planet live, why can't we sing about it? So it's okay they create discrimination and injustices, but we can't speak about it? So how's that okay? So it's basically you want us numb, dumb, and silent. Is that what you're saying? That's their hope. No. My birthright is my light, and nobody will change what I know and who I am. I've been placed in my ranking because I do harm to none. I only come from the greater good. And when people stand before me, yes, they will get triggered. And that's God's purpose. Because I live in truth and some people don't. The more truth you will stand in, the absolute higher in vibration you will be. Because it makes sense, simple, it's true, that's spirit. Spirit is not confusing. Spirit is simple, spirit is true. Sometimes spirit silences, sometimes spirit will humble, sometimes spirit will say what spirit needs to say. Because it's been said 18,000 million times and nothing's been. Well, I'll show you today in the screenshots. I'll show you the pilfering of the videos. Spiritual court has spoken. The evidence is there. And so the shifts have to be made. It's higher order. There is consistent operating in your heart space for you to align. Again, your heart space. What are you passionate about? I'm passionate about helping those children that have been trafficked and getting them healed. That's my passion. I want to walk as many people through the 5D gates. That's my passion. I want to help. I want to inspire. I want to empower people to reclaim their light, soul fragment, and live as Metatronic beings of light. That's my hope and my purpose. Believe that love can rule the day. Again, forgive everybody from the past. Walk forward as letting love rule your day. Letting love be the power of the day. Letting love be the course or choice today. Letting love be the reason you get up today. Let love be the reason that you forgive someone today. Let love be the reason that you are going to be a higher vibrational being, because that light will in your DNA will be fully integrated. That's why we have those healings. They're so important. As hard as that was to integrate that soul experience, that was probably one of the more traumatic soul fragments that I've had to heal. And that's why your teams wait till you're a very advanced person, right? For those deeper soul contracts, right? Because you feel it. You feel what you had to feel in that soul death. That's what a soul fragment healing is. So Thank you for that clearing, Spirit. I saw myself sitting on that table and they were extracting my DNA. There was many deaths that occurred as a spiritual being. I was an Aksharai and I was a spiritual being as they were taking my DNA and using it. They had no care about me as a being. They had no care about me that I came to build a bridge with humanity. It's in this lifetime. The care is not there for what I offer. They just want to use and abuse and take and steal and harvest. So it's just living the same timelines over. I had to heal that soul fragment integration and say, okay, well, you used me in that timeline, but this timeline, you're not going to use me. My gifts are mine. My ideas are mine. My inspirations are mine. I reclaim something out of nothing. That's just who I am. It's my light. I'm claiming it. I'm claiming my voice. I'm claiming my gift, my skills, my talents. My abundance will be my abundance because it's my spirit. It's my spiritual ranking. It's my spiritual abundance. That is everything to me. If I would die today, as I said earlier, I'd be quite happy. My spiritual abundance is packed. My spiritual abundance is packed. That's ranking to me. I know I help insects. I know I've saved animals. The little rabbit that was hit on the side of the road, I was the only one that stopped and picked that rabbit up and put it in a box and we did healing on it. And later that day we came back and the rabbit had moved. That rabbit was healed. The box was there, the rabbit was gone. And that rabbit had both of its back legs unmovable. That's what pure intent and your consciousness of who you are. All of those acts are seen. I did those acts because I'm going to help anything that's stuck on the side of the road. Yeah, I'm helping you. What do you need? Let's do this. Okay, Spirit, bring the angels around. Let's go. Yep. And then there's times in your mastery where God will say, pull back, say anything. Let the person go through what they're going through. They have to face karma. They brought that onto themselves. They have to go through the motions. They have to see why they brought that onto themselves. That's why cycles are so important. You have to go through the cycle. That's a dodecahedron. You will not be a whole person if you're not forcing yourself to be in poverty. Yeah, I can be in poverty. I can let things. I can say sorry to somebody that I meant to say sorry to a long time ago, but I was just too egoic. I can forgive somebody that was really, really mean to me. Like, you have to go through those cycles. How are you going to be a master by not going through humiliation that you can sit down and you can have a conversation needed to be had when you were in the wrong? You were utterly in the wrong. And you can say, I was so wrong. Oh my gosh. How can I make this right to you? Are you pure of heart? Do you really want to make it right? Or are you just doing it because you want to notch and you want to get to know who they are because now there's something important? That's clout chasing. And that clout chasing will never earn you rank. And that person won't want to be around you because the person is now awake. They see everything that you are and it's just all fake and false. So again, go do your healing. Going around in the same circle. That's why those timelines are because God sees the purity of intent in those around them. That's why everybody from the past will stay where they stay. Everybody had 3 years to be pure of heart. I've done the heavy lifting, transmuting. The work was done. So now it's my job right now to pour as much as I can back into me, to heal the PTSD that I still have. And yes, I still get triggered, as we all saw. But I refer to God. God said, speak. Spoke. Everything that God says, I said, God, do you want me to say that? God, say it. And then I speak it. That's the inner dialogue I have with Spirit. Because Spirit knows who's on the other end. Spirit knows the deeds of those done on the other end. Spirit knows everybody that's on the line right now, future now moments, here and past, present, future, pure, fair and past, present. If it's 10 years from now, who's going to be on the line right now for me to say what needs to be said? Because maybe it wasn't that person that was on the line, but maybe it's 10 people down the road that are going to look at that. This will be seen by somebody that is doing trafficking. And that's why that needed to be said. Sometimes we don't know why Spirit gets me to say what I say. It might not have been that person that put the comment. That person that put the comment was the trigger for that person that does traffic, and they're coming on the line tomorrow or the next day, and they're going to hear this video. That's to be said for. I don't question God. God says silence, then I silence. Because whoever needs to hear that, whether it's now or future now moments, that person that's running that traffic needs to be sat down. That's innocent life they're taking. That's innocent freedom and liberations and light and harvesting that they're doing. They have no right to. I bring that truth. I don't know why what I say it. So that person was a trigger for somebody else to get healed. This is how we're all unity conscious is. I want everybody to get this. Go away today and look up images of a crystal dodecahedron. That's what you are. That's what your soul is. Every fragment you heal, you turn it a little bit more light. That dodecahedron becomes a little bit more light. Every time you call in that soul fragment, you become more light in the dodecahedron. So that person's on the line. That person that said what they said on the line that was silenced was a trigger for somebody else in the trafficking ring. Why? Because they're showing me right now that that person that just said what they said, that person doing the trafficking. In another way, another timeline, another realm, another dimension. They might be harvesting something on another planet. This is how we're all connected. This is why Christ consciousness is so important. This is why consciousness is so powerful. This is why loving and holding that light and knowing that you're multidimensional light, you don't know why it's being said the way it's said, spirits, I speak it, but that person might have triggered somebody else that's running a trafficking ring. And they were this close to saying, okay, I want to change. Let's close this down. That's what that person needed. I say what spirit says. So we don't know how we're all threaded. Everybody is threaded. Everybody is an activation for someone. Everybody is an activation to see love. Everybody's an activation to forgive. Everybody's an activation for higher light. Everybody is that threaded pearl. Everybody. We are one. And this is what the politicians and the worlds need to know. We are one. We are a one family of humans that are connected in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, with energy and spirit. We have never not been connected. What is happening in our world is the blatant showing of disconnection. And we need to harmonize it and bring it back into one. So look up images of the dodecahedron, and in any situation you're going through, put the dodecahedron in front of you and look at it from as many perspectives as you can. That's being a master. That's being a master, to show yourself softening and grace and humility and honor and love and confidence when you have to stand up and show your voice of power. God's testing me too. Every time I'm placed before the collective, God is testing me all the time, and showing the voice of the power that should have been shown 10 years previous. Am I reclaiming my power? Am I reclaiming my light to lead millions into a higher promised land? So I'm being tested on all sides. If God says there's a being on the line that be silenced, then it will be silenced. And that is God's proof. From here on out, there will be no ridicule. There will be no more blasphemy. There will be no more harsh judgments. There will be no massaging of my throat chakra. There will be no more hate impaled on my channel. So I don't know why God gets me to do what God does, but there's a dodecahedron of reasons. And it's not for me to know. I trust God. I surrender it every day. So that's what I wanted to say to you earlier. After you do your 3 forgivenesses, sit and ask for the ways in which you can surrender all that you are in this brand new season to be aligned with your highest and your line. And your highest and your best time will always include what? Your 3 E's. It will always choose your excitement to create, your excitement to be involved with your Gaia, your collective, and the heavens. You always want to know who you are as a higher vibrational being. Always want to bring that higher wisdom to the forefront. That's what I do. I love talking about celestials. I love talking about cosmic alignment. I love talking about the multiverse, quantum allness. That's just who I am. It's about who we are in this experience. And then to bring higher ways. But God sometimes gives me the answers after the fact, because it's not for me to know, right? Sometimes I'm just here to say something. I'm here to be a vibrational healer. Sometimes I'm here to bring an activation that somebody needs that's going to lead to it 2 weeks down the road, but their cousin or their sister or their brother or their child is going through something and they'll remember something. Showing me too that whoever this person that was on the line, there is stuff going on in their own neighborhood. And are they aware? Again, it's infinite reasons why God has me say things. And it's a threaded. That's how I read. I'm a conduit. I read the threads of energy. There's many reasons how I silenced that person that had to be said. There's many reasons. It's not for me to know. God sees everything. God sees all. I speak it. Believe in love ruling the day. Offer support to those that you can in this season, right? We're all needing a little bit more compassion, a little bit more love. Opportunities that will arise, that will be from here on out, the opportunities that will arise are going to be fated and destined, which means that it's time, right? There are people that have been awake for a really long time. They are going to be the ones that will be fated and destined to move into new arenas because we are moving into, as they said, new galactic alliances that are spanning out, like it's just like the palm, right? We're on planet Earth in the palm, and all of our awakening helps span out to all of the galaxies and all the councils and federations that we work with. So it's really important that we do start co-creating with new people, new energy, creating new platforms for voice, creating new platforms for share ease, right? That have been respectful and honoring. What else, Spirit? So they're saying the dynamic of opportunities that will be coming forth to those of you that have been awakened and been on the path of awakening for quite some time to assist humans in coming forward with higher vibrational ways of soothing your collective and your cities and your communities. Homelessness is a big issue that can be worked on by collaborating of the higher light wisdoms and creating new foundations within the sacred tree, because a strong foundation will not fall. Again, it's always about the purity of intent, and is it being aligned properly? What foundation are you building on? Are you building on old constructs, or building on a foundation that's 5D? So this is what I help people do as a creative consultant. I help people align with a higher vibrational foundation, right? Because otherwise anything that built on past energies has to go through a cycle of death to realign. So just know that, as we talked about in our video, never fear about rebranding and reinventing yourself, because everything that you built that old foundation on was old constructs. There were old systems, old ways, old belief patterns, old energy. So it's really important that you get excited. Don't fear rebranding. Don't fear reinventing. Get excited about reinventing. Most icons and most mavericks, they are reinventing themselves all the time. That's why they're icons and mavericks. Because it doesn't matter what was, they have their right to grow. They have their right to be a new voice. They have the right to be a new picture, to be a new image of who they are. That's what they want to inspire their listeners. That's what they want to inspire their tribe. They want to inspire their tribe. No, create something new. Who do you want to be today? How can you create your expression today that was nothing like it was yesterday? That is a maverick. That's an icon, where you're constantly challenging old ways. You're challenging conformity. You're challenging how things were done then, because you know that you have an impact and an influence that helps move the momentum in a positive spinner field, which we talked about. Your energy and your momentum goes to create positive experiences for your collective, for your listeners. So it's really important that all people that are in so-called entertainment and creative fields, it's important that you absolutely do reinvent yourself, because you're calling in that light experience. You're calling in that light to make new, to put a new spin on something, to put a new spin on an old product. All of those things that have to be remade in a 5D experience, because everything that was made then was a 3D construct. And that's not who you are now. So celebrate that. Celebrate the new vibrational alignment. Celebrate your light alignment, right? You're aligning to higher ethics. You're aligning to higher codes of order. You're aligning to higher light, right? That should make you feel really happy. And when you have that, just because we're talking about business contracts and business statements and things like of a business, those intentions of aligning with higher light codes, you should do this every year if you have a business for self, or if you have a business operating out of your home. Every 3 months, because energy is changing so fast. I would do this every 3 months, and just your soul's higher path is what I teach you how to do. What is it there to offer? Are you in alignment of your highest creative passions, your 3 E's? And then the foundations that you're going to get, because they're changing so very dramatically, and timelines are shifting because the energies are changing so dramatically. So it's really good that you get used to every 3 months doing a look at your business, doing a look at what are values now. My values are not what they were 10, 20 years ago. You have deeper values now, and they're going to be more socio-altruistic. How can you build and know what you're doing? Because your soul, as you become awakened in the dodecahedron, your soul wants you to behave. Your soul wants you to behave in that holistic manner. You want to know that your legacy is going to serve the good. You want to know that what you're here, what you've done, how you've transformed, how you've transcended, how you've beat the biggest bullies, if you will. All of those things were just tools for you to know that you can triumph through any density or navigation of how humanity has grown into a higher order collective, because that is our destiny to be higher vibrational light beings. And so in that, we have to go through things like what happened, I think, today. We don't know why Spirit says speak. I just speak it. It could be helping 2 or 3 people down the road that were doing something they shouldn't have been doing, they didn't want to do, but now they get aligned to higher and higher. Because sometimes there are those people that need to be spoken to in such a manner that it sits them down. And you're going to be challenged, especially as a leader. If you're going to be in front of people, there will be situations where your tone does matter, and it has to sit some people down. And it's not done I wasn't arrogant or I was graceful about it. Spirit said speak. It needs to be silenced. Freedoms have been played with for thousands of years on every level. You would have to be absolutely asleep to not see that our freedoms have been played with on every level that humanity allowed. Humanity allowed it. So now humanity is reclaiming power. Every person that reclaims your fragments every day, look at the soul fragments. Look at how you gave your power away. Look at how you gave your voice away. Look at how you didn't speak your truth when you were told your truth, when you knew in your side, your gut said, speak your truth, speak your truth, speak your truth, and you didn't. It's very, especially for divine feminine. Because divine feminine are reestablishing balance on the planet for masculine to step in their pure role of being divine masculine. And as divine masculines heals their divine feminine wounds, they're going to take a higher vibrational role as a divine masculine and allow to be player of safety and protection of the planet, player and safety of protection of life. That's the divine masculine's role. The women are to birth it. The women are the birthing of the wisdom and intelligence. Divine masculines are the protectors and the clearing of the way of it. And then the collaboration between them equally is that yin-yang experience. So it's, again, understanding energy, understanding the quantumness of everything that is life, as quantum mechanics. There is always a push and a pull in quantum mechanics, always. There has to be. That's what your shadow is, your quantum magnetic pull to the dark side. You have to have that dark side. It's 51% of your karma. Okay, so how do I train that? Call in that magnetism. What am I being magnetized to right now? What is that temptation? What is that draw? Face it. It's not a big deal. Again, when you have those soul fragment healings where they're taking your DNA, I mean, that's quite traumatic. But I have thank God I have the mastery that I healed it. I healed that. I'm very grateful, and I say with great passion that dodecahedron is now healed. And that's why there is a great liberation and those that have gone through such experiences, dodecahedron shadow, they're going to be the ones that, again, God will lift to leadership and healing, because we've done the hard work. We've done being used and abused so many times. We know our way out of it. We know the way beyond the matrix. We know the beyond enslavement. We know the way beyond entrapment. We know the way beyond betrayals of trust and deceit and manipulation and suppression and subjugation and silencing. We know our ways around it, and it is only with light. So keep speaking light, keep speaking truth, keep speaking love, keep speaking the love for your soul. If you love, you're truthful, because you don't want to take any density that's not yours. Density is deceit, lies, manipulation. So speak truth of your soul. It creates light, clears your chakras. Speaking your truth clears your chakras. Come out of the closet. Be proud to be who you are. Your voice matters. You are worthy. Speak the light of your soul. Your story matters, and my story will help billions on the planet. Spirit is absolutely sure and assured of that. And in that, I am happy and grateful that I have survived, and Spirit has, because I have absolutely give 100% credit and humility, and I bow in grace every day. I am only here because of God. Only. I give all of that credit to Spirit, all of it. To my teams, to my ancestors, to every spirit being that has up for me when nobody else would. So I always do. I give everything that I am to Spirit every night. It says, Joanna, it's time for you to take ownership of that now. And I said, but Spirit, it's all you. So, Spirit knows how humble I am. And that's why Spirit does challenge me sometimes to come forward in silence, because I am such a pure, sweet soul. And it's been eons of people, walking all over me and abusing me. So there are times where I'm going to be tested, and I'll always be as graceful as possible. But everybody has seen in all my, go back to the last 4 years of my videos, Spirit and all my loyal clients, everybody has seen the abuses that have come on my live stream. So everybody just has to have patience and compassion and show love and forgiveness. And know that you're always going to be blessed. Spirit is always, always, always giving you the highest and the best. Just know that. It's always working out for you. Every change, every movement into a new cycle, it's always working out for you, because it's time for you to learn something new. It's time for you to be challenged in your new skills, get talents, right? Just like I'm showing each and every one of you, I'm being challenged and tested just like everyone is. Will you use your voice when it's called for? Will you stand in your Christedness when if I'm speaking on behalf of billions of children that have been trafficked, I'm with Archangel, legions walk behind me with Archangel Michael. I have to carry the staff of Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael doesn't dick around. He's an angel, but he is like, okay, there's been enough egregiousness. There's been enough horrible treatment. Enough is enough. The freedoms on this planet have not been. Period. It's blatant everywhere. Freedom of expression is not. Free will is not. There's suppressions going on left, right, and center. It has to be fixed. Every human has to reclaim their power. Every human has to stand. And when you feel it is important, claim the staff of Archangel Michael for the protection and the healing of all earth and all life. That makes you ranked. And you don't do it out of ego. You do it because you can. I said to Spirit the other day, I said, I'm not going to stop caring for the children being hurt. I will never stop care. I will never stop being a caring person. I will cry daily if I have to show how much I care for the things that are so very special get ignored. Our connection with the earth, our connection with the waters, the beautiful cetaceans, our connection with animals. There's so much for us to reconnect with and love and bring back love to our homes again. Bring back connection and love to dinners. And why wouldn't you want to invite someone to your table that has a different perspective than anybody else? Why wouldn't you? Why would you say to anybody, you can come in my house, just don't talk about what you talk about? I get to be you, but I don't get to be me? Okay, well, have a good dinner. Because if I can't be me, I'm not going to be fake. I can't pretend to be somebody else just because you want to feel comfortable. I love you. I forgive you. And here's a box of cookies. So yeah, you're going to be challenged to step into your power and do it in a loving and kind and benevolent way. And forgive as many forgive, because everybody's being faced with their shadow right now and it's not comfortable. And those that have been so egregious and arrogant and living in their shadow and power over others and domination and handling of others, they're going to be the hardest ones hit because it's been so arrogant. And nobody misses their karmic cycle. Nobody. You have to go through karma. You have to sit in the 8 years, was it 7 years? I think you're 7 years of struggle and challenge. 7 years is what it takes. A minimum of 7 years to clear as much as you can, 51%, a minimum of a 7-year cycle. And there's some people that haven't sat in a day. Like, Ascension is a very sacred process. You have to go through 7 years minimum of struggle. And that struggle is, yeah, if you had everything, you have nothing now. Can you deal with it? Can you know that you're taken care of? Can you know that your breath is enough? Can you know that your connection with spirit is enough? Can you know that maybe you can learn to be connecting with the planet a little bit more? Maybe you can learn to appreciate those before you a little bit more. Maybe you can learn to appreciate that money wasn't all that was necessary, but how you use your money and how you honor your soul gifts and your spiritual gifts and your voice, and knowing the impact and influence and what's your new message now. Maybe that matters more than the money. Maybe that matters more than a special title or a name or how many views you got on your videos. Maybe that matters more. You're going to have to go through these experiences and they're not going to be comfortable because growth is no. But why would you want to stay in a closed, disconnected, arrogant experience? Are you awake to all life? Yes or no? Are you a dodecahedron to creation? Yes or no? Do you choose to be on the path of eternal life? Yes or no? Do you choose to have yourself in whatever form that you can experience? When you get to 5D, you can create what you want of your body in your body. Yes or no? When you manifest from thought, will they be pure and loving and powerful thoughts where you're helping and assisting all life because it's you? All life is you. All the insects are you. All animals are you. All people are you. Can you stand up ones that don't have their voice? Are you discerning about negative and swaying and manipulative energies? Yes or no? Can you speak on behalf of that which is? This is mastery. And everybody steps into it in different moments and different times. But this is how you become a master. You're not going to become a master by living in the same practices and the same patterns, doing the same things. You're going to have new contracts with new people and new people that will be absolutely a part of your destiny and your fate, because you're meant to create something that affects the whole multiverse. That's what the Galactic Federation's. So what they were showing me is that there's different parts of, we talked about the Reptilian Wars and the Orion Wars, the Draconian Wars. They all have different aspects of shadow in our multiverse, aspects of shadow in our galaxy that are being healed. And so we've seen some of these experiences in our planet, and like trafficking as a good example of that light there. Trafficking is a good example of those resources being used and trafficked and abused, right? Harvested. Harvesting is all a lack perspective. It's all lack, because they don't understand their life force. Because remember, we talk about DNA allocation. If they have a very low consciousness of no Christ consciousness or many time consciousness, they're going to have a very low DNA allocation, and they will act from a lack perspective. That means, all for one and one for all, dog eat dog world, get rid of her, she's bad for business, all of those things. That's dog eat dog world, lack mentality. That's all lack mentality. And those are from the Draconian, Reptilian, Orion Wars, when it was all fighting for struggle and resources. Well, if you're aligned with light, and if you're aligned with universal experience, just like I had with that soul fragment I healed, my soul fragment was left for dead on that table, but I reintegrated in the same now moment, because remember, there is no past, there's no future, it's all now. So that aspect of me was giving me access to the forgiveness that it had in that experience where the contracts were disrespected. I gave forgiveness to those people that disrespected that contract. They weren't supposed to use me and abuse me. They were supposed to build a bridge with me. That's the same thing that happened to the cult and coven. I was meant to be in front of them so that I could assist them in their growth of their consciousness. But instead of using me and helping me and build bridges with me and working with me in communion, they chose to use me as a harvesting agent. So again, the same repeating itself. So now we're going to start seeing the awakening to, well, that's a pattern, I get that. So now I'm going to go do this now, because you're not meant to continue those same patterns that are the same in the galactic, Orion, Draconian, and Reptilian wars, all about resources and lack mentality. So we have to start using light, which is Christ conscious, to heal that lack mentality, because we came from those Draconian timelines and Reptilian timelines where it was all about resources and, gluttony, as you have, because there's so much lack. It's funny because the paradoxical energy when you're doing healing, somebody that has those hoarding experiences, they have unhealed timelines in those experiences where it was all about resource and they were gluttonous to the point, and they just couldn't stop getting what they were getting because they had so much deep wounding from a timeline where their communities and their wiped out because of resources, not enough. So you have to understand the paradoxical paradigm of the push and pull magnetics. There's always an energetic core reason, and the only way to heal that is with the light. And so you need to be of higher consciousness. How do you be of higher consciousness? Through light intelligence. And that light intelligence is what? 3 A's, 3 E's, and returning yourself back to self. So put those soul fragments out and look at it from the dodecahedron perspective. That forgiveness of me on the table being used for my DNA and my gifts and my skills allowed me in this timeline to not relive that pattern. They weren't going to sacrifice me. They weren't going to harvest from me. They weren't going to use my DNA or my blood. Because Spirit has wisdoms now, and Spirit will just say, okay, we'll just change the constituents of whatever they take from you, and it's not going to work anyways, because light is so much more intelligent. So I've raised my consciousness to the point, well, no, I'm not going to surrender to that. No, I want a new timeline. I'm not going to be used, abused, or trafficked, or harvested. So this is what I teach. I teach people to understand and discern energy, understand and discern why you go through, understand and discern why you might be, huge in a gluttony an experience right now, and that has linking to other timelines. And so again, what I showed you earlier, that person that said that comment, there was also connection in her own neighborhood. So this is what I love about these live sessions, because Spirit shows me, I always go back and forth weave, right? So Spirit is showing me sometimes now that we're talking about what we just talked about, wars and how that lack of self, Spirit's also showing me that because I'm weaving back and forth, my saying what I said is in that person's field for her to affect her neighbor in the neighborhood. This is what I just love about what I do. I love this. This is amazing. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So everybody take a deep breath. Never underestimate the power you have to alter anything and anyone. You see, and when you know and when you hear of anything going on in your neighborhood or your city, please bring it to your local authorities, and don't stop until something is done, because your voice does matter. Your voice matters. And sometimes Spirit will put the most unassuming and the most unpretentious and the most humble, sweet unicorn spirit before some of the most egregious, for reasons that you don't know until after the fact, right? So that's how I weave back and forth. As we were talking about the Draconian Wars, how it goes here, how can you bring that in for soul fragment healing, and how the threading of those wounds is another threading of the trafficking. And so what I said is going to impact, it's in her field. There is light in her field from the challenge that freedoms have been played with right from day one. Just as Jesus' freedom was played with. He was utterly discriminated, and he was crucified for what he spoke was. He was discriminated for being a high vibrational being, just as I am. Except this time God was not going to allow me to be sacrificed, as Jesus was. Because we should have learned our lesson through the crucifixion of Jesus, have we? Why does Divine Feminine not have any voice on our collective? On any level. Besides being a rap star where they wear next to nothing and have videos where they're pumping and gyrating their life force out to the audience. Why are Divine Feminine not seen as miraculous beings like light and healing divine wisdom, powerful light wisdom that can heal millions, billions at a time? We carry that power. I'm saying it, Divine Feminine, we are powerful beings of light. Wake up. Speak what you need to speak over your home. Speak love and benevolence and kindness and healing over your home. Speak over your home, dear lighted ones. Speak love into your home. Speak empowerment into your home. Speak goodness and oneness over your home. Speak oneness and goodness to your children. You are the leaders. Your communities need to see these new impressions of who you are, because you have impact and you have influence. What is your soul story? So write that out between now and New Year's. What is the 3 things that you can do that will have new impact and in your soul? Because remember, if you're doing the 3 E's, that's all you care about, and it's going to affect others. Just as I've showed you here today, everything that I go through, I show you the practical tips, why it means something, and you don't know it until after the fact, because there's another activation source is going to bring you that's going to tie in this, this, and this, and it's going to have threading effects for this, this, and this. That is the momentum of powerful, and I show it to you. I explain it to you. I thread you. I show you how I go back and forth with dimensional weavings and interdimensional experiences. Because I'm an interdimensional being, sometimes the people online aren't even in my realm. But it needs to be said because the light and the conscious is what I say. And that light conscious is sitting in the realms of those people that are coming and going and watching the video at whatever times. And sometimes we don't know the threading of what's being said, but the light is there. The light is there, ready to be activated. It's up to everybody to get in the elevator and push the button. So New Year's, get in and push the button to say, how can I make more positive, powerful, loving influence and impact on my soul? Well, I can get up and I can create more. I want to do more. I can get up and I can start doing sculpting, healing sessions with my teams at night. I want to have great impact on my body. That should be a #1 rule for all people. I want the loving light body. I'm going to do healing sessions every night with my teams. That's a positive, powerful influence that you're going to have on your body, and you're going to impact your cells right away. So our next video is going to be about the systems of the body. There's 11 of them, and how we speak to the body in our Metatronic light status and pull in all of their soul fragments and start recoding the synaptic pathway from the brain and the higher self, because you want your higher self always in connection. Your higher self is everything to your body's health and healing and youthfulness. Self is working every day that you want to work with your being youthful and staving off what we've known or taken on as a belief of aging. We don't have to take that belief on. It's just a discretionary thing. We don't have to age. We can stay as young and youthful as we so wish. So have that as an institution. And then your body is always involved, because remember, you're a multidimensional being. So all of your new 3 things that you're going to try and the people you're going to forgive should be multidimensional: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and sexual. How can I have greater intimacy with life force with my partner? How can we learn more about our sexual life force in a loving and benevolent and really balanced, exciting way, right? You should be able to have really great sex and really aligned sex, as we talked about before in our pleasuring videos. Your pleasuring videos allows you to sexual life force, and you're meant to use it in a way that is honoring to your body and your sacred centers. Your life force is everything. So of course, orgasm and masturbation are necessary to be a healthy vibrational person when you're moving your life force around. Very important to only have the energies in your field. So I always do a quick little cleansing of my field and a seal around my field if you're pleasuring, so that it's just you and that's working in that self-pleasuring. That way you bring healing to all your sexual centers. And then just be okay from somebody that you're working with, or that you're being with, or that you're sexually engaged with, just so that they have permission to use your life force and you them. Because if you get really excited by them and they turn you on and stuff, you want to have that approval. And so that's always a good thing too, because you want to be each other's turn on, right? That's a good thing. That's healthy and normal. You want to be, God pairs you with each other because you both physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. I'll just give this to you an example. We can, just to give you more forethought on looking forward to the year for higher vibrational matches and surrendering it to Source, Creator, God. I'll give you an example. Talking about for quite some time my Pleiadian soulmate. I have a Pleiadian soulmate, Pleiades, and he's in spirit right now. I have many soulmates in Pleiades, but this person had come to me in transition time, and he came to me in spirit to help me, assist me transitioning into a more safe and loving, honoring perspective of divine masculine, so that I can feel safe around pleasuring myself and being pleasured, and having those safe sexual experiences because of all the healing done. And so he was sent to me, and he was somebody that I adored here on earth. He was somebody that I looked up to greatly, out of genius. And in that time, I was beginning to feel love for him, like as the love that we share in the Pleiades, because we have many lifetimes as partners in the Pleiades. And so this is a really beautiful story. I just want to show you how beautiful source dynamics is, and how respectful love is on all realms and the higher realms. It's such a beautiful story. So I'm sharing it with you with grace and gratitude. And so I started to have like loving feelings for him. And I said, well, are you going to take a body, come to earth and be my partner? Because I love you and you love me. And so something happened last week, and he came to me and he surrendered himself. My feelings have changed, because I'm not feeling love for him anymore. I don't know, about 3 or 4 months, feeling that love for him, like wanting him to be a partner with me. I guess 3 months ago it started to change, because I'm moving into a new arena of having a new lover. And so this is just how spirit works everything. It's so very graceful. It's so very elegant. It's so very honoring to the soul. It's like, that's what I feel, and that's what I communicate through all of my experiences. When we talk higher realms and our guides and our teams and all the beings that help us, that can take a body just to help us for a day. We have beings that come and help us in our transitioning time about sexual traumas that help us. This is how loving spirit is. So that's why I bring you these stories all the time. So he was helping me through a lot of those traumas. And for the last 3 months, I've been kind of waning up. Spirit's moving me in this new direction to experience new and different love. And so came to me the other day and he surrendered me. He was really, really cute. And he had taken me back to an innocent, pure time. And he had said, I'm surrendering you to the person match for you. And I said, well, this is strange. Well, thank you for coming to me. It's so very nice of you. I said, I've kind of left my feelings aside. I've understood that you're not going to take a body. You're not going to come to this because there's so many cosmic galactic alliances. There's so many things I'm with so many different councils. I understand, and we understand at such complex soul levels that at their soul level, I understood that there was going to be a potential that he would not take a body. And he told me why he wasn't going to take a body. He wasn't ready yet. He needed to do more work. He was not a vibrational match for me emotionally. And he wasn't a vibrational match for me sexually. And so I want everybody to understand how beautiful this is. When in the higher realms, when you allow spirit and source to surrender to the highest, spirit knows on every level what every soul is at. Even though this person I deemed him as very highly intellectual and very highly matching with me, multidimensionally, there was other things that I needed in this lifetime experience that he did not. And so I had to be okay in releasing that. I had to be okay saying, I get that. Thank you so much for coming forward and surrendering me. He wanted to let me know that he surrendered his feelings for me. I surrendered my feelings for him 3 or 4 months ago. It was 4 months ago, I guess. And we had just given that soul closure, right? Because he didn't want me to carry his energy in my field. He wanted me to pour into this new person that is a perfect match for me. We're both emotionally deep people. We're both, star seeds. We're both had, very similar paths in the depths that we can go to experience with each other and to deepen with each other. And the sexual chemistry is off the charts. From what I see in spirit. Spirit shows me some things so that I can get an idea of the energies and things like that. But spirit knows that in this time of my evolution as a soul, if you let things under, you're going to allow yourself not to go into things that aren't really your perfect match. Like, again, every soul is working on something different. So for you to have your divine match with somebody that's really your divine match, right? You might not have ever thought that there might have been a match with somebody, but there is an absolute match because they meet you at such a deep level at other timelines that, as we're going to go back again, I'm threading this back to you. It's really important. If you go back and listen to this part a couple times, there's lots of downloads in this. Because there's other things and other cosmic alliances and other galactic contracts that are coming in, because we're entering into a new galactic evolution. There are going to be those contracts that will help heal those timelines of loss and resources and planetary devastation. So just know that. So this is why I tell you what I tell you. Those are very intimate stories for me, but it all makes sense on why. You just let go. Never control your soulmate situation. Your soulmate situation is not for you to control. You're just meant to sit back and allow. If you're divine feminine, you are there to attract and allow your perfect match. That counterpart will be the one that approaches and does that work if you're a divine feminine. The divine feminine is there to attract her perfect vibrational match, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. And then it's up to you to talk with your teams as to what am I going through right now? Where am I at with this perfect match experience? Is there anything I need to work on? You should always be asking, what do I need to see, know, and do? How do I need to act in a greater way to allow that confidence within your perfect match? Because the insecurity you're feeling, they're feeling. Make no mistake about that. Energy is immediate. So if you think that you're not good enough, they're going to think that they're not good enough for you, and it goes in a pattern of nobody's doing anything. And that's when divine intervention comes in and forces you to be together because you're both working from that insecurity. They're too good for me and I'm too good for them and all of those things. But if you can see it from a higher perspective of the dodecahedron, that person's experience with me, although I had great feelings for him, and we have many lifetimes as partners in many other realms, and he's been a soulmate to me because we both believe in foundation. Foundations are something he and I both work on a lot, is the importance of a foundation. So that's why we had talked with my teams that be a possibility for someone to come in and be a new soulmate for me. Because again, it's very important to the heavens that I have a partnering soulmate, because I am important to the programs that uplift all life, many directions and many timelines. And this timeline was very important for me to have the depth of emotion and the sexual. And that's very important because, again, into a new creative experience that has never been done before. And your sexual life force is the most important thing. And it has to be done with a partner that is equally benevolent with their life force. They're equally respectful with their life force. They're equally honoring with their depths of wounding they've had, and they're willing to face it and work with you in shadow experiences. So again, those are the things that you should be looking at for the new year. I really want to deepen my connection with me, my soul, because when you're deepening your connection with you, and as I showed you, I was asking my teams, well, what's the possibility of them coming in to take a body to be a soulmate? Because I wasn't finding, any on earth here. But you have people that can help you through that transition to help you feel safer in divine masculine giving to you. If a divine masculine wants to pleasure you and things like that. Something that divine feminine, if they have a lot of sexual wounding that they have to work through, and there are beings that can come help you with that. And they just help you be a focus point for pleasuring. So that's what that does for me. He gave me that that portal that I could afford, because I don't like to use other people's energy, right? So I'm very cognizant about how I use. And I said, can you come in and be that focus point for me so that I can, get my life force back. So those are things that you do at a higher vibrational state, and you do it with, again, using universal laws. You ask for permission. Is it okay if we're there so that I can, heal my sexual experiences and my sexual traumas? You're mental pleasured. Period, point blank. Women are meant to have orgasms. Women are meant to feel pleasure. Women are meant to be fully aligned and awake in their sexual body on what doesn't turn them on. We're meant to know that. We're meant to feel that. We're meant to ask for that are equally sexually virile, that are equally sexually alive and well, and want to work through sexual exploration in safe and honoring and respectful ways. And each person is different. Some people might be okay with S&M. Some people are not okay with S&M. Some people are okay with poly. Some people are not okay with poly. That's why you have to be very mature, right? We're at the level we're growing now. We're going into high school. We're now going into a more mature experience where, let's put it on the table. There's no S&M or poly stuff. I've already been very open about that. It's just an energetic mess. I'm not into it. I want something that's respectful and sorry. But you have to understand that you're both assured that each person has equal offering as well as receiving of pleasuring. It's very important. Work on that pleasuring perspective. And everybody has a different, what's that word, Spirit? Intensity for how their pleasure points are used and activated. Everybody has a different intensity of virility, right? And so work with that with each other. Some couples are very lucky to have, again, the alignment that source can line up, where you have somebody that is equally ready to be exploratory and virile with you as you are with them, and then just discuss the important things, like how you're sharing your life force and who you're sharing it with, so that you're not going to get into the mess of having to clean up cords and entity attachments and things like that. So that, again, is why you need maturity. But know from here on out, because we're going into a new creative timeline, there's going to be a lot more discussion. Things come out. So why some of the people that have been with me forever, some of them have been taking their healing practices very importantly, because they're some of the healers that will help on the sexual traumas and how to heal those. And that's going to be a very, very expansive field, just because it's been so subjugated, it's been so misused. And again, why the underworld of trafficking was really created, because there was so much wounding, and the wounds weren't being looked at, and the wounds weren't being healed. And then a lot of people end up getting harmed and hurt in the process, because trafficking is not a responsible or a mature way through about going into those soul fragments and healing them. And so really talking about what needs to be talked about, on the sexual front of pleasuring. Pleasuring is absolutely necessary. So they're also showing me this too. Remember I talked about a little while ago, is that when we become higher 5D, 6D, they don't measure themselves through orgasm. They do it through their light. right? Because they don't have that need for that physical experience anymore. They can have orgasms through their light, right? We do it in our physical form because it's how we move our life force. It's how we get reconnected with the God life force. That's how we gather the dragon, the dragon snake energy, because it's passion. It helps us move that energy life force. And so we do this in the physical because we find those attractions and those magnetics with each other. And that's why it's very, very important. Going into this new experience, we're in new realms of omnipresent, right? New bedding of purity of light. And so it's important that you work on that co-creative energetic experience. Did I lose the thread there, Spirit? You gave me something important about these galactic cosmic alliances and the life force. So they're saying they're threading in new systems of light. So when you thread in new systems of light, it first connects with your life force, because that's everything. That's how you survive, right? You breathe your life force. Breathing your life force, you're breathing your life force. Your sexual interactions are your life force. So again, why we should be taking how we have sexual pleasuring, who we having it with is important. Having those mature conversations where it's safe and mature and honoring for all. Again, your respect and honor for your body might not be what your partner's is. They might have a higher respect level for their body. Should be things off limits for them that they've already worked through that they're not doing anymore because it's just immature, right? So you have to have those discussions and you have to heal through them. How you behave in an immature state is not how you behave in a mature state. When you behave in a mature state, it's all about the pleasure. And it's about why you're having the pleasure and to be explored in a safe and honoring, sacred way. And sacred sex is far more than, the intangible sex where you're waking up the next morning, regretting what you did. Been there, done that. Right? So now we're getting into be mature people, and we're now saying, I've been celibate for about 14 years, and it's like now sexual life force is working again, and now all of a sudden I'm attracting stuff, right? And so everything is about balance. If you're not balanced sexually, if you're imbalanced sexually, if you're choosing not to masturbate and not choosing to get in touch with your life force, balanced. So again, just be okay with this. I have videos on pleasuring, and understand that it's a natural part of getting and clearing out your chakras, of clearing out who you are as a divine being. You're meant to feel pleasure. I think there's one more thing we wanted to say about this. Oh, there's new systems of light. So I call the systems of light councils of light, right? Federations, galactic federations. So systems of light means that there's going to be new things threading in to a more higher inspiration, higher wisdoms, higher knowledges, and higher intelligence about the sexual life force and how healing of our body occurs when you're honoring and living in that sacred co-creation, co-communion. Because you both, again, I just surrendered everything to Source, because Source knows what I've been through for all my timelines. Source knows all that I've accumulated in my spiritual wisdom and what my body and what my soul at this point really needs. So Spirit is manifesting that perfect soulmate for me, and I trust it absolutely, because I see the things that are happening in the spiritual realm. So I'm very, very pleased. I'm very pleasured. But they veil me too, because they also want me to be surprised. They want me to have things unfold naturally and as naturally as possible as it can with me. Sometimes we have these really dynamic conversations with Spirit because I see so much, right? And it drives me crazy when I can't see. So sometimes they have to veil me because there are some surprises that want to be surprises. And so then I get mad at Spirit and I for my transgressions, because I said, this is how I react and I behave when you're not letting me see what I need to see, because I've always been a seer. And sometimes they veil me and they have to play with me and navigate me around illusion because I'm high functioning too, right? So that's how my teams work with me. And it's been very difficult lately because I don't like it. They're saying they know that I don't like it, but it has to be, simply because there is so much involved. There's so many councils, there's so many beings, there's so many contracts, because again, I work at a high level, for the unfoldment of programs of life. So it is very important. The Spirit knows how much I've been through, and they're just like really want to surprise me. They really want to do. They're saying make it right, trying to make it right of all the stuff I've been through that was unnecessary. But it all was necessary. I get to teach about it. If I hadn't gone through what I'd gone through, I wouldn't be able to thread back and forth and show you the multidimensionality of how being a master feels, and how important it is to know when you stand in your truth, how important and why Spirit asks you to do so. Why Spirit, when you ask yourself in every moment, what is my part transaction? As I do in these channeling sessions, I ask telepathically, do you want me to say that? And they say, yes, it's time. Like when I shared earlier, I hesitated when I said I am the sister of Jesus. There are certain things that I say, and there's certain things I won't say. I will telepathically ask Spirit me to say this. And Spirit will say, yes, it needs to be said. Then I say it. I ask it telepathically, and Spirit says, yes, say it. And if it triggers people, it has to trigger people, because that's the only way they will heal. Because they only see Jesus being in this. Jesus never wanted to be epitomized the way that he was, to always be remembered on the cross, to always be remembered as the Savior. That was never the intention. That was never the intention. But there's religions that have built their religion around that. No, the intention was that every human is Christ. Every human is Metatronic. Every human is light. Where did we miss that? The ideals that Jesus was to be the only figure that you see in a church, that was never to be the intention. Jesus's word was always, as mine was, you are. I am, you are. How do we get that missed? We're growing up, right? Why can't a divine feminine be equal as Jesus? In her speech, in her intention, her purity of heart. Why can't she be? Of course. Why did we not think it was otherwise? And we deserve also as well to have sex and pleasuring. And for it to be respectful, not sold and bought and mated and harvested and hungered and, stalked for. We're not pieces of meat. We're not to be sold in the highest market. No, it's a sacred. And usually when you surrender to Spirit, I'll tell you this, and it's true. Usually when you surrender to Spirit, and you're going into those sacred contracts, you're practicing with each other in energy form before you come together in physical. That's why there's such an attraction on the physical. You don't know why there's an attraction. You don't know why you think about them. You don't know why when you go to bed at night, they're in your thoughts. There's people that dark all that because that's their manipulation. It's mental manipulation. But then there is the natural, organic, chemical, organic pull. When you must meet this person, you must be with this person because you're already spiritual mates in the heavens. There's already things going on. And sometimes see them. There's a lot that's veiled just because there's a lot of things that are changing, and that might change, right? Like that man that came to me, my soulmate, for a year, I was understanding that he was going to take a form. And then Spirit said, no, you've grown too much. There's too much at stake here. We got to do this and that. There's so much going on in the background. And what I really need is the depth of emotions because I'm a creator, right? And if you're a creator God, you need that emotional connection. You need the emotional depth. You cannot create without emotional depth, right? You have to go through life's experience to say, wow, I did that. This is how shitty it felt, but look what we can do now. You have to have a range of dodecahedron, right? You have to go to those darkest places and say, no, I climbed up. Like Lauryn Hill. I remember Lauryn Hill, one of her speeches is that she was really, after her first big record, and she was one of the most top-selling female artists in rap. And after her first record, the contracts with the organizations, this is how disconnected entertainment field is with contracts. The contract after that just had her manifesting and being in the studio most of the time. And she got to a point where she said, I'm not making the music I'm making. Was the original epitome of my music. It was my soul's pouring out of my soul in that first record that made her a star, right? But please get on track with that because they see that, wow, she did really great being organic and being authentic and awesome because living her life in her expression. That's why she did so well, because she was aligned with her expression. There was no gimmick behind it. But then the record companies get involved. And they go, we're going to put you in the studio. Why don't you create 6 more records and here's your money? Well, that's taking it right out of the expression because now you're putting a contract behind it. And now she's not singing about life. She's singing about being in the studio. So she said in one of her comments after she came back after 5 or 6 years, now she's out doing her singing, but she's doing really small stadium events, right? Because that's how she wants to live. She wants to have a life because that's what she sings about. Because you cannot be a powerful, dynamic, iconic contributor and have impact and influence if you're living in a studio. That's not living. Just like I said in my last video, or I had a blog post. If you're not allowing yourself to live life through the ups and the downs and the cycles and the closures and the poverties and the healings and the triumphs and the challenges and the great sex and the having a great intimate partner that's responsible with you and talks with you and communicates with you and will go to the ends of the earth for you. And if you're not living all of those experiences, how can you ever create and manifest a dynamic that will change somebody's life, like a good book or a great painting? That's where contracts have gone wrong, and that's where the industries have come as industries and corruption. because they're not placing on anything that's authentically aligned with, it's not authentically aligned with the soul's expression in the 3 E's. That's how come entertainment down the road, now future, how many months, Spirit? They're saying 12 to 14 months will change because it will be aligned with authentic expression in the 3 E's, because we're smarter now, we're higher now. Why would you ever commit somebody to get in the studio and rap off a record when they're not living their life? They have to experience. What are they talking about? The same thing they experienced the last cycle. Okay, so is that growth? Are they connecting with the people in the collective? Are they connecting with what the people are going through? A really great creator would be in the collective. They would go to somebody's house where they live in poverty. They would sit there for a couple of months and see how they live. They would go help the homeless on a regular basis. That is a true icon. That's a true maverick, because they're not afraid. They're not afraid of the ideals of separation. That's how you heal separation. You're building a bridge. No, I want to sing about this. I'm an orator. Help me sing about what you're going through. Help me bring voice to your story. That's an influencer. That's somebody that has impact. That's how you should be designing contracts. I want to have an impact to influence and impact other people. Can I sing about your story? Absolutely. Let's do up a contract where we get half of it. You know, it's not just taking somebody's ideas and energies or life story and making it your own. No, you live your life story. How are you being of impact? How are you being of influence to influence other children, to influence the young people that follow you and watch you and pay you money for your records? That's being honoring and keeping that positive momentum of the positive spinner field. And that's where entertainment, and arts and entertainment will be lifted, because it will be aligned in light. And that is a good foundation. It won't break. Those foundations will not break. You want to have people authentic with their soul's expression and what they've been through. Let's bring something forward that's going to help others. Let's have a positive impact where your story is going to be the impaction of many, many other people that are going to be creatives. That's being an icon, right? So that's something that was profound to me, because again, it goes in opposition of all the contracts and all the industry. I hate that word. That's how it is now. As soon as you make a big record, they want you back in the studio producing the next 5. That's how they get you in. That's how they bind you. So, okay, well, that's not being of high artistry. That's not the alignment of authenticity. No, I'm going to create when I create. Source allows me to know when I'm saying something impactful. My voice carries weight. I want to speak life over the creative collective. I want to speak over new art and entertainment. Fields. It's a field. It's an infinite field of infinite light. It's a field. It's not an industry. Life over everybody that comes on my videos, now and future now moments. It doesn't matter where you are at. Get aligned and get connected, because your relationship with spirit is everything. You can manifest anything that you want. You can manifest health and healing, youthfulness for your family, beautiful experiences for your family. You can manifest anything. Be sure to state your boundaries. Be sure to state your expectations, because you're not to be fooled with, to be trafficked or harvested. Those times are over. All harvesting is done. No more harvesting on the planet. And trafficking will soon be slowing down, and slowly by slowly, every trafficking ring will be pulled up, because everybody's hearts will be awakening to the light within. And everybody has authentic, genuine, creative expression that they're here to express. The 3 E's are everything, and why our freedom of expression is everything. If our freedom of expression has been suppressed, or if there's any further suppress our freedom of expression, you better bet that there's going to be more and more dichotomy and more outbursts. The expression is how we heal. That's how we come together. And that's where the Octaran came down in the 50s and was going to build that bridge of contract with the peoples. And that was disrespected and abused, because it wasn't done in the authentic integrity of their expressions. And so this is where we're going now. Is everybody learning the rules of the universal law? Is everybody learning the understanding that we're all Metatronic beings? And when you surrender to Source Creator, you can have far more dynamic, expansive experiences with those you think you're going to be soulmates with and those that you aren't. I mean, I'm a very evolved person. What I thought was going to be my soulmate a year ago is not what I think my soulmate is now. So how could I have never known? I'm surrendering to it. I'm allowing. I'm complete allowance. I'm in my Empress mode. I'm just allowing whatever manifestations. I know that I've got beautiful sacred energy, and I've absolutely done my healing for the past 14, 15 years. My healing didn't last 7 or 8. It was like most of my life. I've done a lot of clearing for a lot of my lineage and timeline. I've taken on a lot of karma for other people to heal. And so I know that I'm going to be blessed with a great partner, and I'm going to be blessed with a beautiful, beautiful family that I can be who I am, right? My interest is to be fully who I am and not have anybody shut me down because I make them feel uncomfortable. No, I get to be me. It's my house. Why can't I be? Right? If I see spirit, I'm going to talk to spirit. This is who I am. Right? You get to be you, but I don't get to be me. So how's that okay? No. So where are the rights for the sensitives? So maybe there's people in the field that have a legal background. Where are the human rights sensitives? Where are the human rights for autistic and sensitive people and empaths and light workers and seed indigos and star seeds? Where are those rights? Where are the rights for the platforms where we get to speak higher truths and we're not suppressed or eliminated? It's an expression that we're going to be healing. It's going to be so exciting. That's why Spirit said 12 to 18 months, I think. So we're going to see a huge increase in really good entertainment, really good quality creative entertainment. So get busy, people. Get busy and level yourselves up. So I'll just read this last part here. Opportunities that will arise that will be fully destined and they will be fated because, again, they are connected. When we say destiny and fate, it's because it's connected to all the galactic celestial councils that you also belong on. So that's why Spirit's having co-creators and creator gods come together so that these new paradigms of, I call it light evolutionary spinner, because when you get ignited by Spirit, because I'm a creator god, that light goes into the spinner field, and then the energies that are around me add to the momentum of that spinner. So again, I'm speaking life into the creative arts movement. I'm speaking life into it. I'm speaking Christed light into the field. Right? And to everybody to get in the elevator and push the button. How do you want to co-create? And if it's aligned, you're going to have a great foundation and you're going to have a legacy, right? Because you're aligning it in the higher vibrational, higher ways. You know, you're not going to repeat the lower contracts. So there will be surprises around every corner. Can you open up and heal and forgive just enough to allow yourself to receive and allow the miracles that God has for you around every corner? So I just said to you, I just gave you an intimate, miracle for me that I was under the understanding that I was going to have a person come down and take a body because we were in the Pleiades. But in this timeline for what I need for Earth and all my new contracts, I need something different. And I'm very happy with that, right? Because I have suppressed myself for so very long sexually. I've suppressed myself so very long, right? Because there was never a match for me intimately. It just wasn't there. So then you have shutting yourself down. This is what women have to be very understanding about, and the divine masculine that are very deep in emotion. There are some masculines that come with a very deep package of emotions. And I implore you, I empower you to please be your most authentic self because you are so needed. This is why those that are icons and mavericks that do choose to channel their deep emotions into craft, and I've written about them in my arts and entertainment article a little while ago, those that have very deep emotional depth, it's very important that they are that impact and influence, and they do influence the people to use their life as a benevolent tool to make change and create change. And for divine feminine to really truly be honest with what they need emotionally, what they need sexually, and what they need intimately. Intimacy is not the same as sexual. So there's variations of intimacy, and just get to know each other on a partnership level. You know, what does intimacy mean for you? You know, you can be intimate sexually, yes, and yet intellectually you can be intimate, just by touch. The healing touch is so very healing, and some of us have been starved for our whole lives. So it's very good to be intimate and open with each other and have those mature conversations so that you're nourishing each other. That's what the soul contracts are for, because you're both creator gods and you're there to nourish each other and lift each other up to higher status. You're going to level them up and they're going to level you up. That's what the divine soul partnerships are. You are both leveling each other up on the aspects of the soul that need to be nourished and healed. What does that word you just said, Spirit? Influence to expand, right? Because your soul partnerships come together because they have an aspect of that's the dodecahedron. They have an aspect of their dodecahedron that has already been lighted, and your aspect of the dodecahedron that has been lighted for them. Does that make sense? So they've activated something that you need. You've activated something that they need. They're there to assist each other in healing and lifting up. That's when you surrender it to source, everything gets looked after. So just surrender your twin flame and your soulmate and whatever counterpart energy or have, just surrender it to source. I've given you so many examples on all my videos about the benefit of just surrendering to source. The divine feminines are to sit back and receive that energy, and the divine masculine now stepping into their divine masculine energies and doing the action, right? So that they can be that virile partner of creativehood. And then you fall into that flow of getting used to each other's energy. And Spirit showed me the other day that the spirit guides and the teams are going to be helping everyone that is going to be stepping into alignment of multiverse galactic alignments. Spirit's going to be helping everyone align with their energies and making sure they smooth their energies out with each other, right? Because especially if you've been, for me, like I've been celibate for 14, going to be a lot of energy that's got to be smoothed out, right? So I'm doing a lot of, healing and, practicing. Practice pleasuring. It's been really good, by the way. So just know that the surprise is around every corner, but are you going to be open and allowing enough, right? You don't control the soulmate situation. You don't control it at all. Just let go. Let go and let God do the energy work. Because when God does the energy work, it's going to be brought together because the magnetic is just the way it is. So just know that. So that was a really interesting story I wanted to share with you, because that's the idea that when you surrender, what you need for this new timeline, what you need for this new cycle, that's why cycles are so important. We talk about it all the time. The cycles are the dodecahedron. You have to grow. And when you just surrender just enough, you're going to be given that soulmate that will be of equal nourishment in depth. And some of us are very, very deep. Some of us are such deep lovers. You have to have that magnetic equal, right? Where nobody can love as deep as you. That there is somebody that can love as deep as you. So let God find that person that's ready to go there with you. And because it's profound, there will never be another love like it, So that experience, like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to experience? There's never going to be another love like this one. That deep you can go. And that's just really great to surrender to, because it takes a lot of trust and it takes a lot of vulnerability and it takes a lot of intimacy, right? Especially if you've been hurt for so, that's why Spirit has been preparing me for so long, because there's been so much fucking betrayal. And it's like, absolute power to those that do the healing, right? Because it's going to be worth it, right? Your first orgasm, it's going to be like, what the? Okay, let's do that again. Let's do that one tomorrow. Let's do that one in an hour from now. I'll meet you back here. So just know all of that's, it's all a part of the plan. You're meant to have that, because so they show me that light, see how the light goes out like this? When you connect with each other at that soul level, the expansiveness of your co-creations together expand all creation. That's when you're with a really great partner. When that person just inspires you to be a new version of you, that's just like, what the fuck? And you can't put it into words. That's God. There is no other word for it. It's intervention. That is God. That's working for both of you. So you have to thank God. Again, I'm only here because of God. Everything I am is because of God. And it's a vibrational God. It's the Metatronic God. It's the quantum God of why I say and why I see what I see and why I talk with what I talk with. It's all God. So I'm only here because of God. So I empower all of you. Please forgive. Let go. There's new contracts coming. Great things to be excited about. I give you all hope and promise that get up. Don't stop ever getting up, and keep going with your creativity. Keep going with your freedom of expression. Keep going for contributing to your communities. Implore and share our videos to share with your communities. Get out and do whatever you can with your communities. Okay, it's really important that, especially if you're a creative, go to a different version of Earth, go to a different society, go somewhere and do volunteer work. See how the people live and start creating. Create blogs, create radio, blog shows. Get out there. Your communities need you. Okay, I empower all of you. You are absolutely loved by absolutely all heavenly beings and your angels and your celestials. Again, the Galactic Federations are saying that they will be shown and seen in your skies more. They're with you every day. Speak connected and get aligned in a better relationship with spirit and light and all of your celestials. I love you so very much. I love all of my celestial beings. I love all of my teams. I love everybody on earth. Everybody is my brother and sister. Everybody is forgiven. I forgive everything and every being from the past. I love you all. I love you dearly. You are my brothers and sisters, and you have given me the most profound soul lessons, and my dodecan is so much lighter because of you. So I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for all of you. I am grateful for everyone that shows up every time. I'm grateful for each and every one who leave abusive situations. I love each and every one of you when you choose to do right. I love each and every one of you when you choose to give yourself the honor of proper, responsible, honoring, sacred, pleasuring, and understanding your sexual life force in a sacred and beautiful way. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I wish you the very, very best for this beautiful Christmas season. Sit with your families and say you love them, and send them cards and say, no matter what, I love you. Even if I'm not at your table, I forgive you and I love you. Okay, I love you, dear lighted ones. If you would like a session or donation, please feel free. PayPal is in all of my videos. I love you so very much, and I'm wishing you love and light. I send you love and beautiful blessings for a beautiful 2025. And namaste.